Willow, married, to my sister's lover, to the man that is still in love with my sister, to the man that I have a foolish crush on. That's what my life had become in the past few days. It was never supposed to be that way. The first time I saw Atticus Fawn, I knew the feelings in my heart were strange. I couldn't stop staring at him. I'd never experienced such unfamiliar emotions in my life before. However, the man has always only had eyes for my sister. They were lovers, him and my sister. I didn't know the whole story, and I wasn't sure how long they'd been lovers, but I knew it was at least more than 1 year. When I first saw him, I had no idea who he was. I never knew my sister was in a relationship with him, or that she'd also had relationships with 2 of his brothers. I didn't know that he loved her. I didn't know anything. My sister had kept me in the dark the entire time. She, just like my mother, always held the truth from me. You're probably wondering why I was in this situation. You're probably wondering why I'm married to my sister's lover. It all started the day of my sister's death. She was killed right in front of me, and by none other than my husband's brother. Damon Fawn, one of my sister's lovers, was the one to kill her. Before she died, she asked for something she shouldn't have. She begged the one man who loved her more than anyone else to marry me. He was in so much pain that day. I'd never seen a man look so helpless and broken in my life until that dreadful day. He was the only one besides me that loved Anya. My mother loved her also, but just like Anya, she was also dead, and her killers were the family I was married into. This world was a strange one indeed. You're never sure what direction your life will take. I continued to scribble in my diary. It was the one thing that kept me sane during this rough time. My sister's world before she died was a very complicated one. It was filled with revenge and betrayal. She did horrible things, unforgivable things. However, I didn't entirely blame her. Whether or not I wanted to believe it, I knew my mother was to blame for everything. She never healed from her past and dragged Anya down with her. If my mother hadn't done this, my sister might have been happily married to Dante. Since he was the one that loved her, I'm sure she would have fallen for him eventually. Since she was blinded by my mother's revenge, she never got to live an ordinary life. She did everything for our mother. She even lost her life because of her. I didn't blame Damon for her death. She tried to kill Clarissa, the love of Damon's life, and he stepped in. I think my sister wanted to die that day. She didn't want to live. She purposefully got herself killed, and part of me believes it was because of me. She wanted someone to take care of me. She wanted someone with power and money to protect me. She knew that I might have been dying, and she didn't know how to help me. She knew Dante would grant her wish if she was dying, her dying wish. And she was right. He did marry me, and he married me on the same day that she died. My wedding anniversary was the same as my sister's death anniversary. How unfortunate was that? I remember Dante grabbing my hand and pulling me down the aisle with him. I remember the priest looking at us in horror. We were covered in my sister's blood. I didn't have a pretty wedding dress like my sister had on that day. My hair wasn't perfect like hers. My face had nothing on it, not even a blush. I remember the whispers from the guests who were present. I remember the look of disbelief on his family's faces. I should have said no that day. I should have done everything to stop that wedding from happening. He was my sister's lover, after all. But in the end, I said yes. I said yes to marrying Dante. Instead of I don't, I said I do. And now I was the wife of Atticus Fawn. Willow Fawn. That was my name now. I was living the life my sister should have lived. I had taken her place, and she was the one that wanted it to be like this. Life hasn't been a bed of roses since then. It has been the complete opposite. Dante and I were sleeping in separate rooms. We did not act like husband and wife. Even at the academy, he acted like he didn't know me. Everyone had the worst things to say about me. They said that I had stolen my sister's boyfriend. They said that I always wanted him. They said that I had this look of longing on my face whenever I gazed at him, and maybe that wasn't so much of a lie. I did find myself staring at him many times. Dante has never once caught me looking at him. At least I didn't think so. He was always in his own world. While his family has been trying their best to bring us closer to each other, nothing seems to be working. He was still in pain. He still blamed himself for Anya's death. I think he also still blamed his brother. Their relationship was now a strained one. I hear a door slam outside and then some shouting. I gently close my diary and lock it before walking out of my room. Could it be Dante? He'd left 2 hours ago, and I patiently waited for him to return. As soon as I got outside, I saw Atticus glaring at him. I gasped when I saw the bruises on his face. This wasn't an unusual sight. Since our wedding day, Dante has been showing up at home with bruises all over his body. He never has an explanation for it. Could tonight be any different? "Where the hell have you been?" Atticus growls. "Answer me, Dante." "Willow, why the f do you need to know that?" Dante growls. Atticus crosses his arms over his chest, and I can't remember the last time I've seen these two this angry with each other. Underground fighting ring," Atticus growls. "Are you a lunatic? A fighting ring? What was that exactly?" Dante looks surprised that Atticus knows the truth. "Did you follow me there?" he asks him. "Did you follow me there, Atticus?" "Of course I did," he roars. "You kept returning home with a million bruises and acting like everything was okay when we all knew it wasn't. Why the hell would you join something like that?" Dante narrows his eyes and moves closer to his brother. "You may not have loved Anya, but I did. She's dead. She's dead, Atticus. Tell me you wouldn't do the same if Autumn died. The woman I love is gone, and now I'm stuck in a marriage to her." He stops talking when he hears my gasp. I covered my mouth. I didn't realize I'd made a sound until now. Atticus turns to look at me as well, and I felt uncomfortable under both of their gazes. Before anyone could say anything, I opened my room door and safely got back inside. I knew he didn't realize I was standing there, but he'd said exactly what he was thinking. It wasn't a secret that Dante never wanted to marry me. It also wasn't a secret that he didn't love me, not even a little bit. I think it's even possible that he hates me. He hates being married to me. A knock on my door forced me to open it. I was expecting to see Atticus there, but it surprised me when it was Dante. He barely ever says a word to me, not unless he had no other choice. "Willow." That's all he gets out of his mouth before I reach over and gently touch the bruise on his forehead. I don't know why I did it. I also am not sure why I haven't moved my hand. Dante has a look of shock on his face, his eyes are wide, and I think he may have forgotten what he was going to say. When he finally comes to his senses, he moves my hand. "I'm sorry," I whisper. "Your bruises, they're just worse today." I knew how much he hated it when I touched him. His bruises were worse than before. This fighting ring, was it someplace that men went to fight? It would match the name. "About what I said earlier, you don't need to explain yourself," I cut him off. "I know that you loved Anya, and I'm happy she had at least one person who truly loved her besides my mother and me. I'm aware that the only reason you married me was because she asked you to. I don't need an apology. Willow." "I'm okay, Dante. Please don't embarrass me further. Please." I stop him once more. I didn't want to hear how much he loved her. While it was confirmed that I was happy his love for her was genuine, it didn't make any of this easier. It didn't help that I had all of these bottled emotions trapped inside me, all directed at him. He just was clueless in this matter. He's about to say something when his mother rushes to his side. "Dante," she hissed, "what have you been doing to yourself, my son?" I knew it wouldn't be long before his entire family stood in front of my room, scolding him. "Look at what you've done to your face," she shouts. They were all losing their patience with him. I didn't think the shouting would help. He's in too much pain emotionally. "Fighting?" his father asks behind him. "Is that what you do for fun now?" Autumn joins us next with Clarissa. Those two were inseparable, especially since they discovered they were biological sisters. I often wanted to be as close to them as they were with each other, but I could never really bond with them freely. It felt weird knowing my sister's history with both of them. "I don't want to talk about it," Dante growls. "I don't care what you say," his mother says. "You are opening up about this right now. I'm tired of seeing you this way, Dante. Enough is enough." I said, "I don't want to talk about it, Mother," he repeats. "You need to listen to your mother," his father shouts. "Why are you hurting yourself?" "It will heal soon," Dante tells him. "These physical bruises, they all go away eventually. It's the emotional one that leaves the scar." Their gazes softened at his words. But I could see this was far from over. Dante was not backing down, and his parents were not happy. "You will listen to us. You will quit." His mother snaps. "You will leave that place and never step back inside that fighting ring again." "No," Dante growls. "I will do no such thing. It's the only thing keeping me sane, and I don't plan on stopping it anytime soon." "Why are you not listening to us?" his mother demands. "You've never been this stubborn in the past. I know you're still hurting from Anya's death, but you need to learn to move on, son. Stop hurting yourself. None of it was your fault, and you're aware of that." Oh no, something was terribly wrong. I gasp. It was happening again. I could feel my body begin to freeze like I was trapped in a freezer. All eyes turned to me, and I could see the shock on everyone's faces when they realized what was happening. "I think she's going into shock again." Dante's mother gasps. "Call the doctor." "Willow?" Autumn whispers as she holds my hand. "We're here, okay? Nothing is going to happen to you. Stay calm." "We need to get her close to some heat," his mother shouts. "Now!" I try to say something, but my lips are stuck together. "Willow?" Dante says my name. It's the last thing I hear before going unconscious. "Dante." I pick Willow up into my arms and carry her downstairs near a fire pit. "Why does this keep happening to her?" I ask my mother. "It doesn't make any sense. Even the doctors don't know what is wrong with her." "I'm tired of seeing her like this. Anya asked me to protect her sister, and I wasn't doing a damn good job at it. If she was here, she would be disappointed with me. I hate myself for not granting her wish. Why couldn't the doctors help her by now? What more was needed to help her?" "It is a bit strange," Autumn whispers. "I'm worried about her. I was also, but not because I cared about her. I was worried because I promised Anya that I would protect her. I didn't want to break my promise to her. She wanted me to marry her sister to give her a better life. What good was marrying her if I couldn't figure out what was happening to her?" "Just keep her close to the fire, Dante." My mother orders me. If it's anything like the last time, she would be okay in a few minutes. I did as she said. I held Willow close to me. It was the first time I was willingly holding her like this. I've made sure to keep a distance between us in the past. However, today was the first day I allowed myself to be this close. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I can't stop myself as I gently move her hair out of her face. I couldn't deny that Willow was beautiful, very beautiful. She was like a breath of fresh air in my dull life. She was someone I had to keep away from my darkness. If she got any closer, it would pull her in and destroy her life, just like it had done to mine. Willow looked nothing like Anya. I was scared at one point that she would remind me of her sister. I was terrified that it would be painful if she did. However, it turns out that not only did she look nothing like Anya, but she also had a completely different personality. They were two completely different women. I didn't know how to feel about it. Part of me hoped that I could find some of Anya in Willow, while a more significant part of me wanted the opposite. I could feel her skin returning to its average temperature, and I let go of a breath I hadn't realized I was holding. "Her color is returning," Autumn says. "What's happening?" Clarissa asks as she enters the room. "Did something happen to Willow?" She gasped when her eyes fell on her. Before anyone could answer, Willow opened her eyes. I was the first person she saw. Her lips part and her cheeks turn a bright red. Her reaction confused me. She almost looked flushed under my gaze. "How are you feeling?" I ask her. She bites down on her lip before saying softly, "I'm fine. Did it happen again?" I nod, and her eyes grow sad. "Am I going to die?" My jaw clenches at her question. It's the last thing I expected her to ask me. I don't know why I felt angry because of that one question. It made no sense to me. "Of course not," I growl. "You're not going to die. Anya asked me to keep you safe, and I'll do just that. We called a different doctor. I hope this one will have more answers than the last, and even if he doesn't, we will find someone else. I won't stop until I get some answers." She looks surprised by my response. It took me a few seconds to realize I was still holding her. I abruptly let go of her and stood back, letting my family take over for me. I don't say anything else as I storm out of there. I didn't want to care for Willow. I didn't want to worry over her, and I sure as hell didn't want to hold her like I did just a moment ago. I knew Anya never loved me, and I knew that she used me since the beginning. I knew everything after her death. However, that didn't change the way I felt about her. She claimed that I was under a spell. She claimed that I would forget about my feelings for her after she was gone. It's been weeks since then, and I still haven't recovered. I think I love her even more now that she's gone. "Hey," Damon says as he joins me outside. "Can we talk?" My hand tightens into a fist at my side. I didn't want to talk to him. Things were still rocky between us. It was hard to forgive Damon for stuff he'd done in the past. He was my brother, I knew that, and I would die before I let anyone hurt him. However, I was still so damn pissed. He should have told me the truth. Instead, he kept me in the dark. If I'd known, then Anya may have still been alive today. "Now is not a good time, Damon." "When will it ever be a good time, Dante?" he demands. "I've said I'm sorry a million times. Tell me, what can I do to fix this?" I spun around and growled at him. "Go back in time and undo what you did. Maybe then I could forgive you." He sighs and throws his hands in the air. "You're never going to let this go, are you?" I don't answer his question. Even I don't have the answer to give to him. "At least answer me this," he says suddenly. "When the hell are you planning on stopping?" "Stopping?" "Yes," he says. "I know about the fighting ring. When are you going to give it up? Don't you think you've suffered enough already?" I want to laugh out loud at his question. Suffered enough already? I could never suffer enough after letting Anya die. Never. Willow. Another doctor. Same answer. Each doctor did not know what was wrong with me. They kept saying that it wasn't anything serious and that I shouldn't worry. Why shouldn't I worry when it felt like I could freeze to death any day now? Why couldn't they see how terrified I was of dying? I felt like these doctors couldn't help me. They were useless in my case. We had to find someone else who knew what was happening to me. But who could that be? I was surprised earlier to see Dante holding me. It's not something that I expected to wake up to. He's always kept plenty of distance between the two of us. Just the thought of it made me feel butterflies in my stomach. Even the slightest bit of attention from Dante made me all giddy inside. I don't think he even knows what he does to me. "I won't stop until I get some answers." Those were his words, and even though I knew he was only protective because of Anya, it still made my stomach flutter. It made me happy to know that he was that determined to help me. I didn't understand how my sister didn't fall in love with a man like Dante. He was everything a girl like me could ever dream of marrying. His green eyes sparkled under bright lights, and his dark brown hair begged to be touched. His muscular arms were built for protection. You could tell that Dante was a protector, someone who protected those he loved fiercely. He was also loyal. Even after my sister's death, he never looked at another woman. She's all that he could see. There were so many qualities about him that stood out to me. He was like a dream come true. If only Anya had seen in him what I saw in him now. But if she'd done so, wouldn't things have been much different now? I wouldn't have been married to Dante, and she would have been in my place. I'm not sure how I felt about that. The thought of anyone with Dante other than me bothered me to the point that I felt uncomfortable. I've never really gotten the chance to learn about men. However, the men at the academy were a huge letdown compared to Dante. He was different from them. He wasn't wild and a jerk like some of the others. He was gentle but fierce. He was soft to the people he loved, but could kill his enemy in the blink of an eye. I grabbed my diary and touched the pen to the clean page. "My dearest husband, today you held me in your arms while I was unconscious. You were the first person I saw after waking up. Your eyes were filled with concern I've never seen before. My heart flutters whenever I'm reminded of how worried you were about me. I wish that one day I could tell you how I truly feel. I wish that one day I would feel your lips on mine." I gasped and threw the book onto the floor. What was I thinking? It was one thing to have a crush on him, but to dream of him kissing me. It was wrong, but was it? I was his wife, after all. I closed my eyes and dropped myself onto the bed. Yes, I was his wife, but he didn't treat me that way. He was also still in love with my sister. Dreaming of kissing him would only end in heartbreak. I shouldn't do that to myself. A knock on my door forces me out of my thoughts. I quickly ran to open it after putting my diary away. "We have a party to attend." Clarissa reminds me with a big smile. And we are here to help you get dressed, Autumn says, forcing herself into my room. She's good at these things, Clarissa assured me. You will look stunning when she's done with you, not that you aren't already beautiful. We've noticed that your wardrobe isn't vast, Autumn tells me. That's why Clarissa and I went shopping for you. We have a selection of outfits that you can start wearing tonight. We even chose some stuff for the academy. You did that? I ask in surprise. For me? I've always loved seeing my sister dressed in fancy clothes. I've often wished for a chance to have that, but my mother always clarified that she could not afford to get me more than I already had. I never complained, but looking at the outfits packed in the boxes in front of me filled me with excitement. I love that look on your face, Clarissa says enthusiastically. This is good. It means we made the right choice. We feared you'd be upset with us for being so pushy. Why would I be upset? I ask, confused. You did something nice for me. Autumn smiles and hugs me. I knew you were awesome since we first met you. Time to unpack and switch up your style. Autumn winks at me. I watch as both girls empty the boxes of clothes onto my bed. Even though it was plenty of outfits, it didn't take them long to sort everything out. This is what we want you to wear tonight for the party, Autumn informs me. I gape at the outfit in front of me. Where's the rest of it? It's a mini skirt and crop top. Clarissa points out the obvious. It's meant to look like that. Don't worry. Autumn and Clarissa always tried to get me to wear outfits like this. I remembered that one time they made me wear a bikini. It was the first time I'd ever seen Dante look at me. I was happy for days because of that one look of desire. At least I'd hoped it was desire. Okay, I'll wear it, I tell them. Hopefully this would also help me to get a reaction out of Dante. We were waiting over an hour for the girls. They always kept us waiting like this. It wasn't anything new. From now on, we need to give them the wrong time for an event. Damon groans. That's actually not a bad idea, brother. Atticus chuckles. I might have to try that the next time. They're coming, Griffin announces. And damn, why do they have to belong to my brothers? Atticus taps him on his head. Can you not be an ass for once? I follow their gazes and felt all the hairs on my body stand up. Long, creamy legs, bright red lips, smooth exposed stomach. I felt like my eyes were about to betray me. What the hell is she wearing? Whenever Clarissa and Autumn helped her dress, I always felt smoke coming out of my bloody ears. It's not like I could tell her about it either. I barely spoke to Willow to begin with. If the first thing I said to her was to change her clothes, I would sound like a complete ass. That's the last thing I wanted to do. I've already been a bad husband to her. I didn't treat her like she was my wife. Instead, I treated her like the sister of my wife. I acted like I was married to Anya, and I was just doing her a favor. And maybe I acted that way because that's how I truly felt. I couldn't accept Willow as my bride no matter how hard I tried. I hoped that one day she could forgive me for all of this. We're late, but it's totally worth it, Atticus says as he kissed Autumn. Damon lifts Clarissa into his arms, and it's still hard for me to see the two of them together after knowing what I knew. However, I was trying hard to be happy for them. We were finally at the party, and it was not going well. Willow had bumped into Sharon, and she was being a pain in my ass. Come on, your marriage is a fake, and everyone knows it, she says as she rolls her eyes. You don't even have a wedding ring on your finger. What woman doesn't wear a wedding ring? Even Dante doesn't have one. It doesn't matter if you're married on paper. If Dante doesn't recognize you as his wife, you're a nobody, and everyone else is free to date him. What the fuck was her problem? I've never gotten a ring for Willow because of my commitment to her sister. I felt I would disappoint Anya if I ever put a ring on Willow's finger. It also felt like I would accept the marriage if I bought her a ring. So far, I hadn't accepted that Willow and I were married. However, I didn't like what everyone said in front of her face and behind her back. It was pissing me off. I've forgotten how mean the girls from the academy can be. Atticus growls. Can you ensure Willow doesn't leave this party until I return? I ask Atticus. He quirks a brow at me. Why are you leaving? There's something I should have done a long time ago, I answer him. There's a knowing look in his eyes as he lets me leave. As soon as I got to the Jeep, I dialed a number I didn't think I'd need until now. "Josh," I say when he answers. "How can I help you, Dante?" he asks me. "I need something from your jewelry store," I answer him. "At this hour?" he asks, surprised. I nodded even though he couldn't see me. "I need it urgently. Can you meet me there?" He sighs. "You're lucky you're a favorite customer. It does have its perks," I chuckle. "I'll see you there in a few minutes." Getting a ring for Willow was the last thing I ever expected to do. I thought we'd spend the rest of our marriage without getting one. Josh pulls up at the store just as I did. He shakes my hand before pulling out his keys and opening the multiple locks at the front gate. "What can I help you with?" he asks as soon as we step inside. "I need a ring for my wife," I answer him. My wife. It felt strange saying those words. He turns around, surprised. Did everyone know that I was not in love with her? That was a stupid question. Of course, everyone already knew. I wasn't good at hiding it. That's why Willow was being bullied at the academy. Because of me. Because I couldn't let the past go no matter how hard I tried. No one understood how much I loved Anya. She was everything to me. I was willing to let her go just so she could be happy, but in the end, even that wasn't enough. She made it clear that Atticus was the only one she ever had feelings for. It's not like I didn't already know it. I always knew that she liked him better than me and Damon. All of the signs were there. When he'd married Autumn, the light in her eyes had slowly disappeared until I couldn't see it anymore. Everyone saw her as this crazy woman, but I could never see her that way. All I saw was the girl I fell in love with. I loved everything about Anya, even her flaws. After learning about the horrible things she'd done, I still couldn't bring myself to hate her. "Dante?" Josh calls out to me. I must have spaced out while he was talking. "What do you think of these?" he asks when he has my undivided attention. "I don't want to look at any," I say to him. "Pardon?" "I don't need to see the ring. I want it to be the most expensive ring you have inside of here." I answer him. I wanted to shut Sharon up. I wanted her to stop harassing Willow. When they saw the ring, they would have fewer things to say about our marriage. Willow. I couldn't find Dante anywhere. After Sharon had the worst things to say about our marriage, he disappeared. A part of me was hoping that he would defend me. However, I knew that only in my dreams would Dante ever stand up for me in front of so many people or even treat me like his wife. "I swear I hate girls like Sharon," Autumn mumbles. "Why can't they just mind their own business?" "Because that's their business," Clarissa answers her. "Gossiping about everyone but themselves." "I can see now why my mother never wanted me to attend any schools," I say while deep in thought. "She kept me home to protect me from the outside world, but it also left me without any experience. This is all so new to me." "Dante's back," Autumn informs me. I can't help myself as I follow her gaze. I wanted to stare at him even if he could see me. His eyes aren't on me, it's on Sharon and her friends. I've never seen him look at another woman except my sister. It made me uncomfortable to see him look at her. She catches his gaze and blushes. I cringe at the sight. His eyes are emotionless as he approaches me. "There's something I want to give to you, Willow," he informs me. "Something that he wanted to give to me? What could that be?" "I should have given you this a long time ago," he says as he pulls something out of his pocket. "I'm sorry that I took this long." When he opens the tiny box, I'm almost blinded by the diamond inside. My lips part, shocked at the ring in front of me. "This is for me?" I ask in disbelief. He nods. "You're my wife. This is your ring." My bottom lip trembles at his words. This couldn't be real. It had to be a dream. There are gasps all around us as he removes the ring from the box. "Give me your hand," he tells me. "Please." I do as he asks, and he quickly puts the ring onto my finger. It was a perfect fit. How did he know my size? "Don't ever take it off," he orders. I could hear the gasps all around me as everyone admired the ring now on my finger. When did he buy this ring for me? And why did he decide to get it? Dante has never once acted like my husband. Why would he suddenly do something like this in front of so many people? His actions confused me and also made my heart flutter. I didn't like it. I was okay with having a crush on him, but this feeling was much stronger. It made me want him even more than before. It was almost unbearable. "Can I see it?" Someone whose name I couldn't remember asked me. She wasn't the only one. Everyone surrounded me while trying to get a better look at the ring. I've never seen any ring this beautiful, she whispers while admiring it. Let's give Willow some space, Autumn announces as she takes my hand and helps me to escape. I look behind me, searching for Dante. He disappeared in the crowd. Why did Dante get me a ring? I ask Autumn as I stare at the sparkling diamond before me. It's beautiful, the most beautiful thing I've ever owned. Autumn smiles. It's about time he did something nice for you, but I'm just as surprised as you are. Maybe he's finally growing a conscience. Either way, I'm happy that he did. You deserve this and much more. I didn't do anything to deserve something like this. Dante's actions had me very confused. It fits you perfectly, Autumn tells me. It means he had your measurements already. How? I ask. I've never given it to him. She shrugs her shoulders. Only he has that answer. My lips parted when I saw him speaking to Sharon. What could he possibly be saying to her? She looked excited that he was giving her some attention. It made me angry. My eyes narrowed and I felt like pulling her hair. You're jealous, Autumn points out in excitement. You're jealous. My suspicions were right. You do like him. Why is he talking to her? I ask. She was so mean to me earlier. I bite my lip to stop myself from saying anything further. I didn't control Dante. He could do as he pleased. However, the anger inside of me only intensified the longer he stood talking to her. He's never even given another girl a second glance. Anya is all he's ever been interested in. I point out. I don't understand why he would talk to her. I'm sure there is a logical reason. Autumn tries to assure me. He's your husband, Willow. If you have a question, you can ask him. I also feel like it's times you sleep in the same room with him. They don't even sleep in the same room? Someone asks behind us. Autumn freezes. We both spun around to see who it was, but the girl was already running and announcing this new information to everyone. The girls were laughing and giggling while pointing at me. Autumn slaps a hand over her head. I'm so sorry, Willow. I didn't know anyone was listening to us. I should have paid better attention to our surroundings. It's okay, I promise her. It's not your fault. I'm sure they would have found some way to get this information. Everyone should know now than finding it out later. I didn't want Autumn to feel bad. She was too nice. I was getting used to the bullies from the academy. It still hurt when they tried to bring me down, but I was gaining the experience I needed to fit in. Dante looks over at me as the laughter continues, and I think I see regret in his eyes for a split second. My jaw clenches when Sharon leans into him. I don't want to be here anymore, I tell Autumn. Can we please leave? Willow. I wanted to slap each of them on their ugly faces. Clarissa hissed next to me. Why didn't Dante say something? He just stood there while they all had so much to say. To be fair, there wasn't anything he could say to make it better, Autumn points out. They are indeed sleeping in separate rooms. At least he got her this beautiful ring, Clarissa says as she brings my hand closer to her face. Even though he upsets me sometimes, I must say that Dante at least made one good decision tonight. Did you see Sharon's face when she saw the ring? Autumn nods. Sharon is just upset that she didn't get a chance to have Dante herself. She knew that there was nothing she could do as long as Anya was around. Now that Anya's gone, she thinks she can have him even though he's married. Women like her makes me so angry, Clarissa mumbles. Damon was holding me back the entire time. If he weren't around, I would have fried her hair. Autumn covered her mouth, but even that couldn't stop her laughter. That would have been such a funny sight to see. I had to agree. Seeing something like that happen to Sharon would have placed me in a better mood. Damon and Atticus aren't happy we left the party early. Autumn sighs. Are you sure they aren't following us back home? Clarissa asks. She looks behind us to confirm. They'll stay to keep Dante company, Autumn answers her. They know he hasn't been himself lately. Clarissa nods and then looks over at me. You haven't said a single word. Are you sure you're okay? I nod. I'm sorry. I never know what to say around the two of you. Her eyes widen. Do we make you nervous? I shook my head. You're so close to each other. You're sisters. I sometimes feel like it may be hard for me to... I wasn't sure how to explain myself. Just because we're close doesn't mean that we don't have space for a new sister. We may be sisters by blood, but we're open to another. and we think that you'll be perfect to fit into that position. Autumn assures me, I agree with Autumn. We need someone like you to complete us. So please feel more comfortable around us. We promise that we will always protect you. Clarissa promises me. I'm surprised by their kindness. Anya and my mother have been nothing but mean to them both. They'd done things I still hoped were not true. Still, Autumn and Clarissa treated me like I was, indeed, their long-lost sister. We pulled up to the mansion. They walked me back to my room. They asked if I wanted to spend more time with them, but I was too sad to join them. It still bothered me that everyone knew Dante and I didn't sleep in the same room. The rumors would only get worse from now on. Women like Sharon would throw themselves at Dante now that they knew he had no feelings for me. I grabbed a pillow from the bed and buried my face into it. The thought of women like her throwing themselves at him made me frustrated. I knew there was no chance he would ever give them what they wanted, but it still bothered me. I went back to my diary, the one place I felt safe. My dearest husband, today you did something that left me breathless. You gave me a ring and placed it on my finger in front of hundreds of girls who wished you were theirs. It made my heart flutter once more. It scared me because it made me want you more than I already did. I want you to continue to be nice to me, but at the same time, I wish that you didn't. Because if you did, my heart would lose this battle, and if it did, I won't be able to stop myself from taking what should have been mine since the beginning. I dropped the pen onto the bed and placed the diary where it belonged. I don't know why I put my thoughts into that book. It was a disaster waiting to happen if anyone ever tried to read it. My door opens suddenly, and I'm surprised to see Dante standing at the entrance. What was he doing back already? He should still be at the party with his brothers. He usually knocked before entering. Did something happen? I slowly got up from the bed and walked over to him. Did something happen? I asked. The first thing I did was search his face for any bruises. However, to my relief, there were none. Take your things. You're moving out, he announces suddenly. My lips part. Moving out? I don't understand, I whisper. Did I do something wrong? Are you kicking me out of your home? He runs a hand down his face impatiently. No, Willow. You're moving into my room. I'm left speechless. Moving into your room? I ask. I don't think I'd heard him correctly. Dante didn't want me in the same room with him in the past. Why would he ask me to move into his room the same night he gave me a ring? What was he up to? Yes, he says, get your things. It's time that we stay in the same room together. I lick my lips, and his eyes linger briefly before he looks behind me. What are you waiting for? Why are you suddenly being nice to me? I demand. First, you gave me a ring in front of everyone, and now you're asking me to stay in the same room with you, even though you were the one who asked for separate rooms to begin with. He steps towards me, and all of the organs in my body freeze. It's almost like all of my life was suddenly sucked out of my body. I'm tired of the rumors. He growls. I'm tired of what people are saying about you. If this is what it takes to shut them up, then please listen to me and get your things into my room. Willow. I couldn't believe it. I was in Dante's room for the first time. He's kept this part of him away from me since marrying me. It felt strange yet exciting to finally be inside here. However, it felt natural to be in here, like this was meant to be. All my things were packed in a corner, and he promised to have a place for them soon. I wasn't sure what was happening. If you're uncomfortable sleeping in the same bed with me, he says suddenly, I can sleep on the sofa. I bit my lip. Was I uncomfortable with him sleeping in the same bed with me? I didn't think I was. I trusted him. It's okay. It was barely a whisper, but he'd heard me. He nods and brings a sheet out of his closet. You can use this one, he told me, and I quietly took it from him. I knew my cheeks were red, but I couldn't stop it even if I tried. I barely moved when he grabbed his t-shirt from the bottom and pulled it over his head. Dante was now shirtless in front of me, and I could see each of his muscles. The lights were dimmed, and I was grateful for it. I knew I should turn away. I knew that I should look away, but my body had a mind of its own. He walks into the bathroom, and I finally let go of the breath I'd been holding. Could he tell that I was looking at him? What did Anya think when she asked Dante to marry me? Was she okay with me wanting someone she once had a relationship with? Was she indeed okay with him loving her and not me? Because I was not okay. For the rest of my life, I would be married to a man that was in love with my sister. If that wasn't bad enough, I wanted him. I didn't want to like him, but I did. I try to catch my breath when he walks out of the shower with a towel wrapped around his waist and water dripping from his hair onto the floor. Do all men exit the shower looking that good? I force myself to close my eyes. I couldn't keep staring at him. I didn't want to make him uncomfortable if I was caught. My eyes are still closed when he walks over to the bed and sits on it. I know when he's next to me, I can hear his uneven breaths. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all. Having him this close was doing unexplainable things to my body. I wanted to close the distance between us. I wanted to get on top of him and bury my hands in his hair. I wanted to lean into him and inhale his scent. "Why were you speaking to Sharon earlier?" I asked quietly. I couldn't stop myself this time. It was bothering me. He turns to look at me. "Why do you want to know that?" I exhale. "Because she had the worst things to say to me. It bothered me that you would still stand there and speak to her after everything she'd said." He frowns. "It bothered you that I spoke to her?" I flush at his penetrating gaze. I didn't want to admit to it, but those were words straight out of my mouth. I had no way to back down from it now. "You've always only had eyes for my sister," I say finally. "You've always been faithful to her, so faithful that you wouldn't even look my way. So yes, it bothered me that you're suddenly looking Sharon's way." He inhales sharply and traps me with his penetrating gaze. "It's not what you think," he finally says. "It isn't," I ask. "So then, why were you speaking to her for so long?" He placed one hand behind his neck and looked at the ceiling. "I wasn't happy with the things she'd said to you earlier." I held my breath. "Were you speaking to her about me?" He nods without looking my way. I had to find a way to get her to stop. I wanted to speak to her first, to give her the opportunity to stop now before I used a different method to shut her up. There it goes again. Flutter, flutter, flutter. My heart is fluttering, for him, because of his words that weren't even meant to have this kind of reaction on me. "Oh," that was all I could say to his words. "Is that the only question you have for me?" he asks, still staring at the ceiling. No, I had plenty more, but I knew this wasn't the right time to ask them. We weren't that close yet. I had to take my time, especially with Dante. His heart was still bruised, and he could take things the wrong way. "Yes," I lie. "That's all I have for now." He turned onto his side so that he wasn't facing me. That was good. It was easier for me to speak to his back. "Thank you, Dante," I whisper. His back stiffens. "Why are you thanking me, Willow?" "Because of everything you did for me today and in the past," I answer him. "I know you're not doing any of this for me. I know you're doing it because of my sister, but it still means a lot to me." He sighs. "Get some sleep. I don't deserve your thank you." I won't bother disagreeing with him. If he wanted to sleep, I would let him. I close my eyes as well, and soon enough I drift off into a peaceful sleep with him right next to me. "Anya!" I woke with a start. I stare at Dante next to me. He was thrashing against his pillow. It seemed as though he was having a nightmare. I move closer to him. "Dante," I whisper. "Anya!" he shouts again. How often has he been having these nightmares? I hesitantly touched his arm, trying to wake him up. His eyes flash open, but I don't think he was seeing me. "Anya!" he cries. I gasp when he pushes me back down onto the bed and rolls on top of me. I don't have time to prepare as he crashes his lips to mine. "Willow." My eyes widen at the sudden attack on my lips. Dante was kissing me. My husband was finally kissing me for the first time in our marriage. I should have been happy, and I probably would have been under different circumstances. This wasn't how I wanted our first kiss to be. He wasn't thinking of me while his lips were on mine. In his mind, he's kissing my sister. He was still dreaming of her. I felt my heart sink at realizing how pathetic my life was. This couldn't be happening to me. How much more cruel could this life be to me? I lost my sister. I married her lover. He's finally kissing me, and she's the one he's thinking about. The worst part about this was that I couldn't compete with Anya. She wasn't here for me to compete. And even if she were still alive, I wouldn't dream of doing that to her. I had nothing but love in my heart for my sister. I knew she wasn't perfect, and I know she did some horrible things, but she was still my sister, and I loved her. While she was alive, she has always protected and loved me as well. Even while dying, protecting me was on her mind. Dante groans, and it sends a shockwave throughout my body. I gasped when I felt something between my legs, a strange yet pleasurable feeling I'd never felt before. I'm not happy that I'm enjoying this kiss. It wasn't meant for me. I shouldn't like it as much as I did. Dante's lips were soft against mine, and his hands were now on my waist. Even they had a powerful hold on me. I should be pushing him away. Why wasn't I doing that? When he finally lifts his lips from mine, I can breathe again, but not for long. Dante surprises me by moving to my neck. The moment his lips touched my skin, I lost all control of my body. I can't stop myself as I bury my hands in his hair. It's surprisingly soft. Dante smells better than any perfume I've ever had in my entire lifetime. It makes me feel like I'm intoxicated, even though I've never experienced what it was like to be intoxicated before. I felt dizzy with pleasure and need combined as one. "I can smell you," he says in a husky whisper. I gasp. Can he truly smell me? My lips part, and I don't think I've ever felt this good. It was like a paradise I'd never known about until now. It was wrong. A dark paradise that I had to escape before things got worse. "Dante," I say his name as I place both hands on his shoulders and try to push him off me. As much as I enjoyed this, I couldn't let him continue. I couldn't use his pain to feed my pleasure. "Please don't stop me," he begs. "I need you tonight, Anya. I need you, Anya. Only you." His words made everything inside of me turn to ice. "I love you, Anya." And then that ice shatters. "Get off me," I shout. "Get off me, Dante." My voice finally manages to get through to him. He blinks once, then twice before looking at me. I knew that he could see me this time and not Anya. "Willow?" he croaks in confusion. I don't say anything. I'm not sure what to say to make this better. I couldn't exactly tell him that I was encouraging his kisses earlier. I don't think I need to tell him, however. He looks at my swollen lips before sniffing the air, and his eyes widen in disbelief. I suddenly remembered what he said earlier about being able to smell me. I feel all the blood rush to my cheeks. Could he still smell me now? Can he somehow tell my body was enjoying everything he'd done to me? What did I do? He whispers in horror. I don't think he's speaking to me. I think he's speaking to himself. He touches his lips, still in denial. "I think you were dreaming." I try to explain what happened. "You were shouting Anya's name. You were having a dream about her." He drags his gaze back to me. "Did I?" He swallows like he doesn't even know how to form a sentence. "Did I kiss you, Willow?" he asks. The pain in his eyes makes me want to lie to him. I did not want to make him feel worse than he already did. "I don't think that's important right now," I try to say. He narrows his eyes. "Just answer me, please." I bit my lip and slowly nodded. I couldn't bring myself to say it. He inhales sharply and closes his eyes. He acts like he'd committed a grave sin by kissing me. Was it indeed that bad? I watch as he buries his face in his hands. "Fuck. Dante. Don't." He stops me. "Don't try to make me feel better." Does he enjoy the pain? Does he enjoy hurting himself that much? I'm helpless as I watch him beat himself up for something he'd done without realizing it. He wasn't aware of what he was doing. Why was he so upset? "Can we talk about this?" I ask him gently. It isn't a big deal. It was in fact a big deal to me. It was my very first kiss with him, and it was more magical than I ever expected it to be. Minus the part where he called me Anya and said he loved her. "I have to go," he says suddenly. "I thought this would work. I thought it would be easier than this. I'm sorry, Willow. I can't do this. Definitely not tonight." Wait. I try to stop him, but he's already out the door. I wanted to run after him, but I knew that it was useless. I slowly rubbed my finger across my bottom lip. I could still feel him there. Why was this happening to me? Dante. I can still taste her, smell her, feel her. Willow was softer than any woman I'd ever had in my life in the past, including her sister. I was angry that I had done something so unforgivable, even if it was in my sleep. How could I have thought that she was Anya? I should have awakened the moment her scent hit my nose. It wouldn't have taken me long to know that it wasn't Anya beneath me, but Willow. Damn it. What the hell was wrong with me? I brought Willow to my room to protect her from the rumors. Why did that thought even cross my mind? I felt sick to my stomach. I was a sick bastard. She was Anya's sister, for crying out loud. I couldn't stay here, not tonight, not when her scent still surrounded me. I hated to admit it, but the moment I'd tasted her in my mouth, I wanted bloody more. I must be going insane. That's the only explanation for this. As a man, my need to have a woman beside me was messing with my head. That would explain my desire for something more. To hell with that. I rather'd spend the rest of my life without a single woman than have strong desires for a woman that wasn't Anya. When I married Willow, I promised myself never to touch her. I didn't even kiss her on the altar. It was all about fulfilling Anya's dying wishes, nothing else. And today, I'd broken that promise. If she hadn't woken me, there's no telling how far I would have taken things while thinking it was Anya beneath me. I grabbed the keys from the desk in front of me. "Where are you going this hour?" Atticus asks me. Just what I needed today. Why was he even waking at this hour? "I need to go for a drive." I lie. "Why?" he asks. "Did something happen with Willow? We noticed that she isn't in her room." I clear my throat. "I asked her to move into my room." He looked surprised. "Are you telling me she's sleeping in the same room as you?" He asks for confirmation. "What's so weird about that?" I demand. "She's my wife, isn't she?" He quirks a brow at me and places both hands in his pockets. "I know that. We all know that. However, I just never realized that you knew it as well." My jaw clenches. "Is this another one of your lectures, Atticus? Because I could do without a lecture tonight. Save it for someone that needs it." He nods. "I can see that you're not in a good mood. I'll let you go. We can speak in the morning. Hopefully by then, your mood will change." I'm grateful that he didn't press on this subject. I was going to the one place my family would disapprove of. It's the place that has kept me sane for the past few weeks. And it was the one place that stopped me from thinking about Anya. It was my safe place. I walked into the garage and started the Jeep. The drive to the underground ring wasn't an easy one. Usually, Anya was the only person I could think about. Tonight was different. Since Willow's scent was still all over my body, she was on my mind tonight. Why was she not disgusted that I had kissed her? She should have been angry with me. Instead, she said it wasn't a big deal. How was it not? My hands tighten on the steering wheel. Was it not her first kiss? My jaw clenches. Whether it was her first kiss or not had nothing to do with me. I pulled up to the gates for the underground ring, and the second they saw my Jeep, they let me in. After parking, I leave the vehicle and head to the first booth. The receptionist smiles brightly when she sees me. "What a pleasant surprise this is. You're not on tonight, Dante," she whispers seductively. "Why are you here? Is it to see me?" I flip the bottle cap in front of me. "Are there any spots available?" I ask her, ignoring her question. She smiles. "I'm sure I can squeeze you in. The bets will rise once they know you'll be on tonight." I nod. Good. I needed a fight more than ever. I had to get Willow out of my head. It's the first time she's the one that I needed to get out of my mind and not Anya. I walked down the corridor and into the first door on the right. The stadium was packed tonight, and a fight was already in session. Look who made it in tonight. Jaguar, the owner of the underground ring, greets me. He was always happy to see me. There were a few gasps as the women across from us spotted me. It had zero effect on me. "Those women will pay good money to sleep with you," Jaguar informs me. "Why don't you give one of them a chance?" "I don't care about the money," I tell him. "Do you not know who I am? Money isn't important. This has nothing to do with that." He chuckles. "This makes you more desirable to these women. The fact that you don't give them any attention. All the other men throw themselves at them. You're different. They want you." Hearing that they wanted me did nothing for me. I didn't want them. None of them. "What brings you in tonight?" he asks me. "Not that I'm not happy to see you. I'm always happy to welcome you into Thering." "What brought me in shouldn't matter, should it?" I ask him. He chuckles. "You're right." The bell rings suddenly, signaling that the fight is over. "It looks like you're up next," he tells me as he taps my shoulder. Finally, time to bury my pain. Dante. The screams erupted around me the second that I stepped into the ring. It helps cancel out the pain inside my heart. Images of Anya in front of me distract me for a second, but when my opponent takes his first swing at me, I'm back to defend myself. I ducked from his second attack and let him try again. My technique was to let them fight first, get them tired, and then hit them with most of my strength. So far, I've never met an opponent with whom I had to use every method I knew. None of them were stronger than me. Maybe it was my emotional pain fueling my determination to win the matches. However, it wasn't even about winning. It was mostly about forgetting the grief inside of my heart, even if it was only for a few minutes. I let my opponent get another punch at me. I ignored the pain in my jaw. I allowed him to hit me because I needed the pain. After a few more punches, I finally begin my counterattack. I can hear the applause get louder as I begin winning the fight, a mixture of males and females cheering me on. I use the sound to bury the pain. I wish it lasted longer. No one understood me, my family, friends, enemies. No one could understand why I was still in love with Anya. They expected me to let go of her after her death. They expected me to forget about her. I didn't know how to explain it to anyone. Anya never treated me well enough for me to love her this deeply. But loving her had nothing to do with what she did or didn't do. The love in my heart was true and pure. I loved her with my whole heart. When she died, I lost a part of me, a portion of me that would never return. Outsiders didn't know the truth about Anya. They didn't know the things she'd done. I've done my best to keep it that way. I didn't want her reputation to be ruined after her death. I knew my family disagreed with me, partly because this made Willow's life more difficult. Everyone saw her as a thief, someone who'd stolen her sister's mate. Anya was famous, and many liked her despite the wrongs she's done. They liked her more after her death. The bell rings suddenly, breaking me out of my thoughts. I hadn't even realized I'd won the fight already. The cheers are louder than before. The referee grabbed my arm and lifted it to signal that I was the winner. I look around the stadium and all I can see are excited faces. I'm gaining their trust after each fight that I won. Jaguar shakes my hand as I exit the ring. Always a pleasure watching you fight. Hope we get to see you again soon. I nod. I will be back before the end of the week. Or maybe sooner. There's no telling what else I'll do that would bring me straight back here to fix it. Dante, the woman next to me, screamed my name. One of them walks over to me. She's dressed in a mini skirt and a white bra. That was a casual outfit in here. She purposefully pushed herself closer so I could get a good view of her breasts. My jaw clenches. "Can I have your number?" she asks seductively. "I'm married," I answer her. She looks surprised. I don't see a ring. Even if she couldn't see a ring, I'm positive that she knew I was married. I haven't met anyone unaware of my marriage to Willow. However, it's never enough to stop women from approaching me. Even if I weren't married to Willow, I wouldn't be interested in them. "Then will you take my number?" she asks desperately. "You can call me whenever you need someone to talk to or do other things." "Let the man pass," Jaguar tells her. "This part of the ring is not for spectators." She angrily folds her arms as she walks away. "Thanks. Anytime." He grins. "I can't have my best fighter harassed just after a fight. Call me if you ever need anything." I nod and walk away before someone else tries talking to me. I didn't want to go home, but there wasn't anything else left for me to do here. "Congratulations!" The receptionist shouts as I walk towards my Jeep. I wave at her before getting into the vehicle and driving away. I knew my family would freak out when they saw more bruises on my body, but I would be prepared for their reactions. No matter what they said to me, I wouldn't stop fighting. This was a part of me now. I wasn't going to let go of it that easily. It doesn't take me long to reach home, and when I do, I stay in my Jeep for over an hour. I wanted to ensure Willow was asleep when I returned to the room. I didn't want to be asked any more questions. I didn't have the answers she was seeking. After finally convincing myself that it was time to leave the garage, I moved towards the house. I walk up the stairs and straight into my room. The lights are off, and she's in the bed with the sheets around her. She must be asleep. I breathe a sigh of relief. I quietly walked into the bathroom and got rid of my bloody clothes. After taking a shower, I changed into shorts and a t-shirt. I was still trying my hardest to be as quiet as possible. I didn't want to do anything to wake her. However, the second I step out of the bathroom, the lights are on, and she's standing right before me. Why was she still waking? She should have been asleep. Her eyes widen when she spots the bruises on my face. "You did it again," she whispers in horror, my hand tightened into a fist. "Why are you waking at this time, Willow?" Willow. He had bruises on his face again. These were fresh bruises. It meant that he'd only just gotten them. "Why did you do this to yourself?" I demand from him. "Was kissing me so bad that you must hurt yourself to forget about it?" His jaw clenches, and the muscles in his arms pulse almost angrily. "Why are you still awake?" He ignored my question about kissing me. I couldn't believe this. Dante must truly hate being married to me. It all made sense now. Those fights were helping him stay married to me. It was the only thing that kept him sane. He looks over his shoulder when I don't respond to his question. I don't say anything as I walk out of the room. He doesn't follow me either, not that I was expecting him to. I walk toward the medicine cabinet. Autumn told me about it. She mentioned that it might be a good idea to help take care of Dante's wounds whenever he returned home like this. I knew that Dante was protecting me only because of Anya, but I wanted to protect him in return still. I grab one of the kits and walk up the stairs back to his room. He doesn't even look up at the door when I return. He is lying on his tummy with his face turned to the side. His eyes are closed, and he's breathing heavily. He must be tired from the fight. I quietly walked over to his side and sat on the edge of the bed. His entire body tensed when he realized how close I was to him. "What are you doing?" he asks without opening his eyes. "Taking care of my husband," I answer without a second thought. His jaw clenches at hearing me refer to him as my husband. Was it not the truth? I don't understand why that should bother him. "I don't need you to take care of me," he tells me. I ignore him and dab the cotton on the medicine. Without waiting for his permission, I press the soaked cotton against the bruise on his forehead. He winced at the pain, and I leaned down to blow on it. I wanted to make it better. I knew he would heal eventually, but right now he was still in pain. "I told you I was okay," he snaps angrily. "And I told you I'm going to care for you, just like you do for me." I insist. He doesn't seem happy with my response, but he doesn't stop me again. "Turn over," I order him. He slowly turned around so that he was facing me. "Can you remove your shirt?" I ask him. He frowns. "Why?" "Because I can see a bruise on your chest," I answer him. His tongue is against his cheek as he lifts the shirt off his body. I gasped when I saw the deep wound in his chest. "Does pain make everything better for you?" I demand. "I don't want to answer any of your questions," he growls. "If you must ask me questions, you can leave the medicine here. I'll put it myself." I press my lips tightly together. Why wasn't he willing to get help? Why was he purposefully putting himself in situations to get hurt? I was also in pain after losing my sister and the only family I had left, but I'm not letting it affect me the way that it's doing to him. I share his pain. If he'd open up to me, maybe we could help each other. I sigh and press the cotton against the wound on his chest. His forehead creased, and I could sense how much pain he was in. I leaned forward and lightly blew on his chest. I gasp when he grabs my hand. I look up at him, and his eyes are dangerously dark. "That's enough. But I'm not finished." I try to disagree. "It will heal." He cuts me off. "Thank you." Why was he so cold towards me? He didn't treat me horribly, but he didn't treat me like I was his wife either. I thought things were finally changing between us when he moved me to his room, but not much had changed. Everything was still the same. We were still strangers living in the same house. I knew more about Clarissa and Autumn than I knew about Dante. He's secretive about his past and present. He doesn't even try to let me in. What kind of marriage was this? I angrily grabbed the medicine kit and dropped it on the desk beside me. Then I walk over to my side of the bed and bury myself under the sheets. I hug them closer to me. It wasn't like Dante would willingly embrace me. These sheets were all I had to keep me warm on days like this. I didn't even have my sister any longer. She would often take me in her arms and hold me close to her. She was no longer here to do that for me. I don't think Anya knew what she was doing when she asked Dante to marry me. She was desperate to save me, but in doing so, she made my life miserable. Being in a loveless marriage was not an easy thing to deal with daily, especially when feelings were utterly one-sided. I closed my eyes and forced myself to go to sleep. It was the one time that I could forget about all of my problems. Of course, there were days that I dreamt of Dante. I hoped that tonight wouldn't be one of those days. I didn't want to dream of a man that could never give me his heart, even if he was my husband. Dante was the last thing on my mind before I finally fell asleep. I can feel the sunlight on my face, begging me to wake up and face another day. I stretched and felt a hand over my chest. I froze at the contact. I slowly opened my eyes to find Dante's arm on top of me. What was it doing there? I could hear his uneven breathing. He was definitely in a deep sleep. I slightly turned my face and see his lips only inches away from mine. I can't look away even if I wanted to. I can't stop myself as I lift my hand to trace his bottom lip with my finger lightly. It's just as soft as I remembered. A part of me, a big part, wants to press my lips against them. I gasped when his eyes flashed open without any warning. I can't move, not even an inch. Dante is staring at me, and my finger is still on his lip. This isn't happening to me. Willow. He doesn't say anything. All he does is watch me like I was a ticking time bomb. Did I make him that uncomfortable? I still can't move my finger. I'm numb after being caught. What are you doing? He finally asks, breaking the silence. I flushed under his piercing gaze. I was just about to wake you. I lie. Your arm, it's right above my breast. I don't finish my sentence. When he realizes what I'm trying to say, he moves his arm from on top of me. I'm sorry. He apologizes. I'm not used to having company in my bed. It may take some time for me to get accustomed to it. If you want, I can separate us with some pillows or even get another bed for the room. Of course, he would suggest something like this just because he'd touched me in his sleep. It's okay, I assure him. It doesn't bother me. He nods and walks into the bathroom. I bury my head against the pillow. While he's showering, I pull my diary out from under the mattress. My dearest husband, you kissed me for the first time. You've done the one thing I've been dreaming about since I married you. However, I felt hurt when you said my sister's name. You were thinking of her the entire time. I do not blame you. I know you love her, and I know our marriage was forced onto you. Still, my heart doesn't know how to forget your lips on mine, and I don't think it's possible to ever forget. I quickly placed it back under the mattress when I heard the shower turn off. It was my turn to get dressed for the academy. I pass him as soon as he's getting out. I held my breath as his scent hit my nose. It's comforting and intoxicating all at once. I cover my mouth and nose, trying to cancel it out. Are you sick? Dante asks me, noticing my strange actions. I shook my head. I don't wait for him to ask any more questions as I shut the bathroom door. I quickly showered and got out a few minutes later. When I walk outside, Dante is already dressed while I'm still in my towel. He looked up at my entrance, and his eyes immediately turned a darker shade. I didn't think it was possible for eyes as bright as his to get that much darker during the day. I cleared my throat and walked over to the closet. It took me a while to remember that Autumn and Clarissa had removed my old clothes. These were all outfits chosen by them. I take leather pants out and match them with a white crop top. I'll leave you to get dressed, Dante informs me. I'll be waiting in the Jeep. I don't say anything as I watch him leave. When alone, I drop the towel onto the ground and quickly get dressed. When I walk down the stairs, I could hear someone whistling. When I look to my left, it's Clarissa. Both she and Autumn are happy to see my outfit. I knew it would fit you amazing, Autumn exclaims. Let's see what those awful girls at the academy have to say now. They've had plenty to say about my outfits in the past. They claimed that Anya had a much better style than I did. We don't care about their opinion, Clarissa snapped. What did Dante say when he saw this on you? He hasn't seen it, I answer her. He's already in his vehicle. Well, let's get you outside, Autumn says as she hooks her arm in mine. Dante doesn't even look up at me when I step into the Jeep. His eyes are on his phone. After I buckle myself in, he starts the Jeep and pulls out of the garage. That was disappointing. Neither of us says a word for the entire drive to the academy. When we arrived, I silently exited and reunited with Clarissa and Autumn. They'd arrived at the same time as us. Did he have anything to say about your outfit? Autumn asks me. I shook my head. No. He didn't even look at me, not once. Clarissa looks annoyed. I can't believe him. You look amazing. Look at the many guys already staring at you. I followed her gaze and realized that she was right. Men weren't the only ones staring at me. So were the girls. I think I know what's going on, Autumn says suddenly. Isn't today their anniversary? What? I ask, surprised. You're right, Clarissa whispers. It's on this day that Dante asked Anya to be his girlfriend. It's the same for Damon and Atticus. Oh, I didn't know how to feel about this. He's going to be in a worse mood today. Autumn sighs. I think it's best to avoid him for the rest of the day. She was right. He was already in a bad mood because of last night. He must hate himself for kissing me in his sleep. Look who's finally made it, Sharon says as we bounce into her. What does she want? Clarissa mumbles. We were waiting for you, she announces. Everyone has prepared a surprise for you inside. What could she be talking about? A surprise? I'm sure it wouldn't be a good one. We have nothing to say to you, Sharon. Clarissa snaps as we pass her. Of course, the girl who slept with her brother will have nothing to say to me, she retorts. Clarissa stiffens, and Autumn grabs her arm to stop her from doing anything. I touched her other arm. I didn't want to see Clarissa get in trouble because of that woman. We finally succeeded in calming Clarissa down and walking into the school. However, the second we entered the hall, I understood what Sharon meant. What the hell is this? Clarissa demands. On both sides of the walls were pictures of Anya and Dante kissing. There were hundreds of flyers everywhere, wishing them a happy anniversary. I felt a sharp pain in my chest. How could people be this cruel? Willow. They were everywhere. My sister and my husband. They must have taken 1,000,000 pictures together for there to be this many. How many times did he kiss her? How many times have they done even more? My stomach churned at just the thought of it. Why would anyone choose to play such a foolish prank on us? I was still heartbroken from Anya's death. None of these people actually loved her, yet they seemed to believe otherwise. Rather than comfort me after losing my sister, these people preferred to scar me emotionally. I was still trying to gain the affection of Dante. With all of these pictures, his emotion for Anya would only resurface. We need to get these pictures down, Autumn tells Clarissa. Immediately. They were thinking the same thing that I was. However, I knew nothing could get rid of those pictures fast enough. Dante was only a few feet away from us. I wish I could have burnt them to the ground, Clarissa hissed. However, I have no choice but to hide my power. When Dante finally looks up from his phone, he sees me staring at him wide-eyed. He looks confused at first until his eyes fall on the pictures right before him. I watch as realization quickly dampens his mood. His lips parted and his forehead creased. I watch as the phone from his hand drops onto the ground. I'm so sorry, Dante. Autumn apologizes. I don't know who's responsible for this, but we will get rid of every one of these pictures. Dante looks at her then. Get rid of them? They are pictures of Anya. I don't want you to destroy them. Take them down, but don't destroy them. You can give them to me. I try not to take his words to heart. I tried my best. However, I failed miserably. Was he planning on staring at those pictures every chance that he got? The fact that he didn't want Autumn to destroy them and instead give them to him told me all that I needed to know. I watch with horror as he takes one of the pictures, walking past me. I see the smirks on everyone's faces. It's almost like they enjoyed hurting me. Don't let them know how much it's hurting you, Clarissa whispers. Don't give them the satisfaction that their plan has worked. Instead, lift your head and keep on fighting back. You have us by your side, and I promise Dante will soon be on your side as well. All he needs is some time to heal. I truly wanted to believe her, but I didn't think that it was possible for Dante to ever heal from Anya's death. She was his true love, even if she didn't see it that way. Seeing my face every day must make everything much more difficult for him. What the hell is all of this? Atticus demands as he takes a look around us. He just entered. Someone decided to play a little prank on Willow, Autumn answers. A sick, twisted joke. Atticus narrows his eyes. I'll get to the bottom of this. Clarissa and Autumn take both of my arms and walk with me to class. Good morning, class. The professor greets everyone just after we've taken our seats. Today, we're discussing ideas for our new fundraiser. It's almost that time when we accept someone that can't afford to attend this academy. This fundraiser will go towards that scholarship, just like it always does. I was learning new things about the academy every day. I looked around the room for Dante. He wasn't there. Did he lock himself in somewhere with that picture of Anya? I tried to get images of that thought out of my head. We want fresh new ideas this year, the professor announces. Whoever has one can raise their hands and I'll give you a chance to speak. I was not used to things like these and decided not to take part. Everyone already hated me. I didn't want to give them more reasons to do so. We can sell jackets for the event, someone offers, and the professor seems to like the idea. My father is a designer. He can help us out. Anyone else? What about a kissing booth? Sharon offers. But only with guys. Every guy from our class must take part in it. However, no one can know who they're kissing until they enter the booth. It will be private, with no one to make anyone feel uncomfortable. She looked at me when she said the last line. That's not a good idea. Autumn disagrees. The guys should have a choice. They shouldn't be forced to take part in this. I knew that she and Clarissa would be pissed if Damon and Atticus were forced to kiss other women because of Sharon's idea. I understand your concern, Autumn, but Sharon has a good idea. Our aim for the fundraiser is to make just enough to cover the scholarship. It will allow someone to improve their life, someone who deserves it. Autumn doesn't say anything at that. Atticus and Damon, along with Dante, were not in class. I'm not sure where they were. I'm sure if Atticus and Damon were here, they would also protest. Dante, on the other hand, I'm not sure what his reaction would have been like. He's hard to read at times. The thought of Dante kissing another woman in the kissing booth bothered me. However, I knew that it was for a good cause. It's not like I had a say in any of this. Dante would never know that I had feelings for him. If he thought that I would be okay with this kissing booth idea, he would go along with it. I swear girls from this academy would use any excuse to kiss already taken guys. Clarissa mumbles. Can't I just burn their hair just once? Autumn sighs. As much as I would love to see that, you know that you can't reveal the truth to anyone. People are keeping an eye on us. We can't give them any reason to suspect you. I guess we must find a way to live with this, Clarissa says as she crosses her hand over her chest angrily. I felt the same as she did, but I tried to bury those feelings. I had to find a way to get rid of them before I got hurt. I had to. If I kept these feelings in my heart, I would surely get my heart broken soon. Dante. A kissing booth, I asked Damon, surprised at what I just learned. Why on earth did they come up with that idea? That sounds like trouble. It's not a booth, Damon answers me. It's a private room where any girl could come in and make out with guys from the academy. And you're telling me there's no way we could get out of this? I demand. There should be a rule that excludes married men at least. If there was a rule like that, what the hell am I supposed to do? Damon demands. I'm not married to Clarissa. Not yet. This was the first discussion we'd had like this in a while. It felt good but still strained. Does the girl have a say on who she's getting to kiss? I ask him. He shook his head. She doesn't know. It's a surprise. To make things fair, they won't know until they enter the room. Autumn and Clarissa are probably losing their minds, I mutter. And what about Willow? Atticus asks as he sneaks up behind us. Fuck, I growl. Why do you always show up in time to be a pain in my ass? He shrugs. Someone needs to be here to guide you along the right path. I ignore him. Why did you mention Willow? I ask. What about her? He quirks a brow. Don't you think that she would also be upset that you'll be kissing another woman? I frown. Autumn is in love with you. With Willow, it's different. She doesn't love me. It wouldn't affect her as badly. Not that I even want to kiss anyone. I'd rather find a way to get out of it. The word kiss reminds me of the one I shared with Willow in bed. I inwardly groaned at the reminder. What was so special about that kiss? Why can't I forget it? I was half asleep when that kiss happened. It shouldn't be this hard to forget about it. She's still your wife. Atticus says suddenly as he taps my shoulder. I've made similar mistakes in the past. I don't want to see you doing the same. My jaw clenches. He'd made mistakes. I'm aware of that. However, he was never actually in love with Anya. I was the only one that loved her. Even Damon didn't love her. They both had women that they truly loved, and both of them had their mates. I was not the same. Anya must have been my mate. I may never know the truth. The spell died with her, and with her death, I couldn't tell genuinely. However, the pain I felt may be all I needed to confirm that Anya was my mate. But if she was, wouldn't she have had some feelings for me as well? Or did she bury those feelings for her revenge on my family? I'm sure we can find a way to get out of this kissing booth nonsense, Atticus tells us. I don't mind it at all, Griffin announces. I think it might be fun. Of course he would think that way. He wasn't in love with anyone, as far as we all knew. If you want to take part, you can, Atticus tells him. However, for the three of us, we need to find a way to make sure that the only woman kissing us is the one that we love. I think he meant to say the two of them. The woman I love is no longer here with us. All we need is to find a way to let Autumn know who's entering the room, Atticus says. She can warn Clarissa and Willow so they don't kiss random strangers. I stiffen at the thought of Willow kissing a stranger. I know that it shouldn't bother me, but it did. It bothers me because I know Anya wouldn't want her sister kissing any strange man. That's the only reason I could think of. For that reason, I had to find a way to ensure that she didn't take part in this. We had no choice but to take part, but there wasn't a rule that forced the women to participate. I'm heading to my room, I tell my brothers. Already? Atticus asks. I thought we were going to drink some beers and play some game. I shook my head. I'm exhausted. What those assholes did today still has me pissed. You mean the pictures with you and Anya? Atticus asks. I think a girl was responsible for that. Or possibly more than one girl. They're crushing on you and think there's a chance to have you since Anya is gone. That's insane, I growl. I'm married. You don't even have a wedding ring. Atticus points out. I swallow. I got a ring for Willow, but I never thought about getting one for myself. And I wasn't planning on doing it either. I didn't need a constant reminder that I was married to Anya's younger sister. I'll see you guys in the morning. I dismiss them. I climbed the stairs 2 at a time, moving quickly toward my room. I knew Willow was already in bed. I hadn't seen her since I returned home. When I opened the door, I felt relief flood my body when I saw her tucked under my sheets. I don't know why I felt so relieved to see her in my room, lying in my bed. It's almost like I was looking forward to seeing her. I shook that thought out of my head. She looks up at me when I close the door and walk over to my side of the bed. I remove my watch and place it on the bedside table. There's something I want to talk to you about, I say suddenly before I can talk some sense into myself. What's that? She asks nervously. Did I make her nervous? It's about the kissing booth, I blurt out. Can you not take part in it? Willow. Did I hear him correctly? There's no possible way that Dante just asked me not to take part in the kissing booth. I knew it wouldn't bother him one bit. I don't understand, I whisper. Why don't you want me to take part? Aren't you also taking part in it? He nods. I am. He answers me. But I have no choice but to take part in it. I'm asking you to stay out of it for your own good. My own good? I ask, confused. His jaw clenches. Yes, you're unlike many of those girls who will be participating in it. They're experienced. They've probably kissed dozens of men already. They know what they're doing. You're innocent. You're not like them. Kissing a stranger would make you uncomfortable. Are you trying to say that I'm a bad kisser? I demand, surprised that he would even hint at that. I could feel my cheeks get red with anger. I knew that I was innocent. I knew that I was also very inexperienced. However, he didn't need to point this out without considering how it would hurt my feelings. He turned his face to look at me. I could see the surprise in his eyes. When did I say that you were a bad kisser? He demands. You just said that those girls knew exactly what they were doing while I don't. I remind him of his own words. I was embarrassed that my first kiss was so horrible for him. I knew he didn't want to kiss me. He was thinking of my sister. Still, hearing him admit how bad it was for him made me very upset. Willow, in case you didn't know, that was my first kiss, I snap. I've never been kissed by any other man before, not on my cheeks or my lips or my chest or my neck. He covers my mouth with his finger, stopping me from saying anything else. His eyes were cold and almost dark as he glared at me. I never said that kiss was bad. he finally says. My eyes widen. Does that mean he enjoyed it as much as I did? I'm sure that's not what he meant, but my heart would happily assume that's what he was trying to tell me. He seems to be searching for the right words. I'm just saying that guys from the academy are horny bastards. They'll put their hands all over your body and try to touch places they shouldn't. And if I find out that anyone put their hands on you, I will chop each of their fingers off. My lips part in surprise. My heart was pounding in my chest, and I thought I felt butterflies in my stomach. I didn't know hearing a man mention cutting off someone's fingers for me would ever make me this giddy, but I was learning new things about myself every day. You'll chop their fingers off for touching me? I repeat his words, unsure if I'd heard him correctly. I needed him to confirm it for me. Someone needed to pinch me. This had to be a dream. Why would he ever do something like that for me? Realization seems to hit him finally, and he quickly clears his throat. I meant that Anya would want me to do that if anyone touched you inappropriately. I promised to protect her sister, and that's exactly what I plan on doing. If anyone takes advantage of you, I'll make them pay. So please, for your sister, don't participate in this. I flush at his words. Again, he was only doing it because of my sister. Everything he did for me was only because she'd asked him to do it. For once, I wished he would do it for me and only for me. Thinking like this would get me nowhere. I sigh. If it means that much to you, I won't take part. I wish I could ask him to do the same for me. I hope he can find a way to avoid letting another woman kiss him. I knew Sharon and the other girls that threw themselves at him were waiting for this opportunity. Girls seemed crazy for the Fawns, and I knew exactly why. If Anya hadn't asked Dante to marry me, he would have never looked my way. I would have been like any other girl trying to catch his attention. I think my sister knew this. She knew that she was the only person who would be able to get him to marry me, and she used that to her advantage. It's still crazy that she never fell for Dante's apparent charms. How could she not see him the way that I did? He seemed to relax a little after I told him I wouldn't participate in the kissing booth. I hadn't heard about a kissing booth until they mentioned it today. He walks into the bathroom and does his usual routine before coming to bed. I was beginning to enjoy seeing him come out of the shower every time he was preparing for sleep. I was worried that it was something I would soon be looking forward to every night. I could still smell the soap on him when he pulled the covers over his body. He smelled so good. He always does. I turned to the other side to not stare at his back. I closed my eyes and tried to force myself to fall asleep. I was learning that it was very difficult to fall asleep when a sexy man was sleeping right next to you. Every sound he made, even the sound of his breathing, the little movements of his sheets, I was aware of it all. Screw this. I was turning back around to stare at him, even if it was just his back. However, when I finally did turn around, I was surprised to be face to face with him. Dante swallows hard, and so do I. You look nothing like her, I gasp. I knew I looked nothing like Anya. Did it bother him that I didn't? He turns on his back and stares at the ceiling. I guess looking at me was painful for him. I angrily closed my eyes and forced myself to fall asleep. Willow. I'm not taking part in the kissing booth, I tell Autumn. She gapes at me. Why? She demands. We had so many plans for today, Clarissa complains, and all of it included getting Dante jealous. He doesn't even like me. Why do you think he will get jealous? I ask her. She sighs. I don't think you know much about men like Dante. I'm telling you that we need to get him jealous. He asked me nicely not to take part in this, I explained to her. I don't want to do anything to make him upset with me. Autumn quirks a brow at me. Are you telling me that Dante asked you not to take part? I nod. She looked at Clarissa, and they both looked excited about this news. He's so jealous. Clarissa laughs. No, he's not. I disagree. He said that Anya would be upset if he let me participate in something like this. He said that the guys from the academy may try to take advantage of me and that I was too innocent for this. Autumn doubles over in laughter. I can't believe that's what he said to you. Dante truly does have a way with words, doesn't he? Clarissa asks. I wasn't sure what was so funny. I'm sorry, Willow, but you are taking part in the kissing booth this year, Autumn tells me. My forehead creases. What are you talking about? I already told Dante that I wouldn't be taking part in this. We have a plan, Autumn whispers. Atticus will let us know exactly who's entering the room so we can enter at the right time. You won't have to kiss a stranger, none of us would. I frown. Isn't that against the rules? I don't care about the rules when it involves Damon. Clarissa mumbles. I rather burn this entire place down than let him kiss another woman. Are you sure that this plan will work? I ask them. I didn't want there to be a possibility of their plan not working. If that happened, I would be forced to kiss a stranger, and that's the last thing I wanted. Dante was the only man I wanted to kiss, even if he didn't want to kiss me. Oh, we're sure, Autumn assured me. I'll do everything in my power to ensure it does. Sharon is right in front of us with a group of her friends. I watch as she purposefully puts on lip gloss in front of me. I'm sure Dante is a great kisser, she shouts. I can't wait for my chance to kiss him. Autumn and I again had to drag Clarissa away before she could make a scene in public. I swear one of these days she's going to get what's coming to her. Clarissa growls. We know that she wouldn't get an opportunity to kiss him, Autumn says. There's no reason for us to get worked up over her. You're right, Clarissa says, finally calming down. Girly screams suddenly erupt around us. It's starting, Autumn tells me as she drags me forward. I'm not sure if this is a good idea, I protest. I'm sure if I get Dante, he wouldn't even want to kiss me. It's better than him kissing someone like Sharon, right? She asks me. I frown. The thought of Sharon kissing him angered me. I nod. Okay, let's do this. Are you hearing those screams? Griffin asks. Those women can't wait to get their hands on one of you. Atticus looks sick after hearing it. We have a plan, Atticus says as he looks for Damon for confirmation. What did they know that they weren't telling us? You have a plan? I ask him. He nods. It's nothing that you have to worry about. Didn't you say that Willow won't be participating? I nod. Thankfully, she'd listened to me. Unlike my brothers, I didn't have anything to worry about. It's starting, Damon says. Who's going first? Griffin, Atticus answers as we watch him enter the room from the back entrance. He's signed up to take part more than once. I chuckle. I wouldn't expect anything different from our younger brother. One after the next, everyone around us takes their turn. It was almost time for me to enter. I just had to get it over with. Aren't you curious to find out who you'll be kissing? Atticus asks me. You can check up front. The first person in line will kiss you in the next few minutes. I wasn't curious, but I still wanted to know who it was. I walk out to the front, hoping that none of the girls would see me looking. I didn't want to hear their screams again. Luckily, they were too excited to look my way. I follow the line, searching the faces. Sharon is first in line, but the person behind her makes everything spin. Willow. What the hell was she doing there? She agreed not to partake in this event. So then, why the hell was she in line? My hand tightened into a fist as I forced myself to have some self-control. I wanted to walk over to her and pull her out of the line, but that would cause too much attention on us. I stormed back to Atticus, who looked surprised to see me looking like I wanted to kill someone. After me, who's next? I demand from him. Eric, he answers me. Eric is next. My eyes are narrow when they zero in on the person in question. I walk over to Eric and grab him by his shirt. Switch places with me. What? Don't make me repeat it, or I'll drag you out of that room the second you enter it. I threaten him. His eyes widen as he slowly nods. It's not that big of a deal. You can have my spot if you want. All you had to do was ask. I let go of him and storm over to Atticus. What's wrong with you? He demands. I can't believe she lied to me, I growl. She lied! Willow. I was having doubts about this. What would I do if someone else was inside that room? Would they allow me to back out? Willow. They call my name. You're up next. I watched as Sharon exited the room with a pissed look on her face. Whoever she'd gotten to kiss wasn't who she wanted. That's a good sign, isn't it? It meant that she didn't get to kiss Dante. Willow? They call my name again. I build up the courage to take a few steps forward. My hands shake when I open the door and enter the room. Music was playing, canceling out the noise from outside. The lights were dimmed, but I could still see clearly. I look around the room for Dante. At least, I was still hoping that it was Dante. The door in front of me opens, and I breathe a sigh of relief when I see the familiar face of the man I married. It was him. Autumn and Clarissa were right. They made it happen. He doesn't look surprised to see me. Did they also explain to him about their plan? Dante looks angry, and I think it's possible that he knew nothing about this, unlike what I was hoping. He still looks like someone who thought I wouldn't participate in the kissing booth. This wasn't good. I didn't want to upset him, but he now seems furious. "Are you surprised to see that it's me?" he asks me. I can barely recognize the tone of his voice. I don't think I've ever seen Dante this angry in the past, and it felt horrible to know that his anger was directed toward me. "No," I answer honestly. "I was hoping that it would be you." He chuckles, and I can sense the sarcasm. "Is that another lie?" "I don't know what you're talking about, Dante," I answer him truthfully. His questions were confusing me. "Is that what you wanted, Willow?" he demands. "To be kissed by a stranger?" I gape at him. "What the hell is wrong with you? Why are you so angry?" He takes a step towards me, and I take one back. I wasn't used to him reacting this way. "You lied about not taking part in this event," he explains as he takes another step forward. "I saw you getting ready to enter the room, and I knew it was all a lie. You said that you wouldn't take part. I had to switch places with that motherfucker so he couldn't kiss you." I gasp. Was there initially someone else? That couldn't be possible. Autumn said that Dante would be the one in the room. Was there some mistake? Something must have gone wrong. I knew they would never purposefully let me kiss someone other than Dante. "I think you're misunderstanding." "I don't think I am, Willow," he growls. "If you wanted to kiss someone that badly, you could have just said so." I don't get time to respond when he grabs me by my neck and pulls me towards him. "What are you doing?" I gasp. "The room is rented out for a kiss," he answers me. "You paid for a kiss, and I will give you one." My eyes widen when his lips crash onto mine. For the first few seconds, all I could do was stare at him wide-eyed while he devoured my lips. I'm in shock. I'm not sure what to do. He was right. I did pay for a kiss, but he seemed to be under the impression that I wanted to kiss someone else. He didn't realize that this was exactly what I wanted. A kiss from him. No one else. His taste, like mint, explodes in my mouth, making me whimper. I felt him shiver in my arms, and I wonder if it had anything to do with the sound that just came out of me. He picks me up and pushes me against the wall. I gasp against his mouth. What was this strong feeling in my chest? I've never been kissed like this before. My last kiss with him was nothing like this. This kiss was possessive and almost desperate. I could feel the anger radiating from his body, transferring onto my lips. What made this special was knowing that, unlike our first kiss, this time, he was very aware that it was me he was kissing. He wasn't thinking about my sister. He thought of me even though he only did it to prove a point. I couldn't believe that another girl would be experiencing this right now if Autumn and Clarissa hadn't convinced me to take part in this event. I was so happy that I had listened to them. I could hear a knock on the door, but I don't think Dante did. He continued to kiss me, ignoring the sound from outside. They were trying to get our attention, but were failing miserably. Dante picks me up and throws me onto the couch before climbing on top of me. It almost feels like he'd lost control of his body. I heard another knock. This time it was louder. "Leave us alone!" Dante lifts his mouth from my own long enough to shout those words before going right back in. This doesn't seem like him at all. Was I dreaming? If I pinched myself right now, would I wake up and realize it wasn't real to begin with? I gasp when his hand travels up my leg. He was touching me. His hand felt warm and big. I had this uncomfortable feeling between my legs. For some weird reason, I wanted to feel his big hands there as well. Was something wrong with me? Why was I acting so strangely? "Willow!" someone shouts. "Your time is up." He ignores them as he moves his mouth from my lips to my neck. I bury my hands in his hair as he nibbles on my skin. I wanted to bring him even closer to me. Why did this feel so good? The door flies open suddenly, and the room light gets brighter than it was just a few seconds ago. Both Dante and I freeze. "I'm sorry to break this up, but you only paid for 5 minutes, and 10 minutes have just passed," the woman who'd let me in earlier says sternly. Dante lifts his head to look at me. I can see the shock on his face. I was right. He wasn't even aware of what he was doing. I've never seen someone look this disgusted with themselves as he did now. He moves from on top of me and aggressively wipes his lips. It's almost like he wants to get my taste out of his system. His head was slightly thrown back, and it looks like he was fighting for control. His jaw was tight as he ran a hand through his hair. I slowly got up from the couch while fixing my dress. Dante seemed to be getting angrier by the second. His hands are fisted, and I can see his veins oh so clearly. I watched in horror as he slammed his fist against the wall without warning before storming out of the room. Dante, what the fuck was wrong with me? Why did I lose control like that? When I saw Willow inside that room, waiting eagerly and all innocently for a stranger that she didn't even know, everything snapped. The kiss was supposed to be a lesson. There wasn't even supposed to be a kiss. That decision happened in a split second. Atticus grabs my arm the second I exit the room. What's wrong? Willow was inside that room, I answer him. I can't remember the last time I've ever been this angry. I was furious, and I didn't know how to calm down. Why did she tell me that she wouldn't take part if she were going to do the exact opposite? She was? Atticus asks. I wonder why she said differently. So she's the person you were referring to earlier? The one that lied to you? I run a hand down my face. I told her how many assholes attended this academy, and she still chose to participate. Kissing wasn't the only thing that could have happened inside that room with one of those assholes. Did you just storm off on her like that? Atticus demands. You should have spoken to her. Find out why she did it. I'm sure it's just a misunderstanding. To hear her say what? I demand. That she wanted to kiss a random stranger? We don't know if that's what happened. He disagrees. Why are you behaving like this? Why are you so angry? I take a deep breath, digging deep for an answer to his question. The first thing I could think about was Anya and my promise to her. Because Anya begged me to protect her sister while dying, I growl. I promised to do everything possible to make her last wishes come true. If Willow lies to me again, I won't always be there to protect her. I don't want to disappoint Anya, even if she isn't here. I don't want to let her down. Atticus takes a deep breath and looks around us, checking if anyone is listening to our conversation. I don't understand why you've always loved her so much. Atticus sighs. His words angered me. You may have forgotten all of the years you've spent with her because of Autumn, but every second I spent with Anya still lives rent-free in my head. I'm not going to magically forget about it just because I married someone else. Atticus nods. I'm sorry I said anything. You can't help who you fall in love with. I hope one day you can learn to love. Can you make sure that Willow gets home safely? I ask my brother, stopping him from finishing that sentence. He looked shocked when I asked him, And what about you? Where do you think you're going? He demands. I clench my jaw. I can't stay here. I have to go somewhere to clear my head. If I don't, I might say something I regret. I knew I should stop and listen to Willow's explanation. However, I was too angry to converse with anyone, especially her. I had to calm down first. And there was one thing that had proven in the past to calm me down. I said goodbye to Atticus and walked away before he could ask questions. I'm sure he had an idea of where I was going. He knew that the fighting ring was where I went when things got this heated. I'm surprised that he didn't do more to stop me. When I reached the vehicle, I quickly got in and pressed my forehead against the steering wheel. Things kept getting worse for me. Whenever I felt like this, the first thing I did was look for Anya. All I had left of her were pictures. I pulled my wallet out of my pocket and removed the picture of her. I held it between my fingers and gazed at her beauty. I didn't mean to kiss her, I whisper. I'm so sorry. I felt like I had betrayed her in some way. Crossing her was something I would never be able to forgive myself for. This wasn't the first time I'd kissed Willow. It was the second time, and this time I had no damn excuses. Why did you ask me to marry your sister Anya? I asked the picture in front of me, knowing it wasn't possible to get an answer from her. I pulled my phone out of my pocket and dialed a number I didn't think I would be calling tonight. What can I do for my favorite fighter today? Jaguar asks as soon as he picks up my call. I'm going to lose the fight tonight, I tell him. What? He asks, surprised. I wasn't even told that you would be on tonight. It's a last-minute decision, I explain. I need to be in that ring tonight, but I won't win. I'll let the opposition win tonight. There's a long pause. Hello? Why would you want to lose willingly? He asks me. Everyone loves to see you win. You can win the bets if I lose tonight. I try to persuade him. Think about it. Everyone else would be voting for me. If you vote against it, you'll win big time. He chuckles. If that's what you want, who am I to stop you? I'll be there in less than an hour, I inform him. I don't want to wait for the fight when I arrive. I'm hungry for a fight. I'll make sure that everything is prepared for you. He assures me. You're about to make me richer tonight. I sat back against my seat and let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. I wanted to lose the fight tonight. I deserved to get beaten up. I should never have kissed Willow. I should never have betrayed Anya. Tonight I'll make sure that my body pays for my mistakes. I'll never do something like that again. I'll make sure that I learn my lesson. Willow, we don't know what happened. Autumn apologizes as soon as she spots me. You were supposed to enter the room with Dante, but something went wrong. He was very angry with me, I whisper, still shocked by our kiss. Dante was a very good kisser. I knew that without having to kiss anyone else to compare. He thinks that I lied to him. I continue to explain. I didn't get a chance to tell him I changed my mind, but only because I knew it would be him inside that room. It's all my fault. Autumn apologizes. We should have told him you were participating. I didn't think it would upset him so much. I think he's more angry that she almost kissed a stranger, Clarissa suggests. According to Atticus, he insisted that the guy after him switch places with him so he could be in the room with you. All we need to do is explain that something went wrong. What the hell did you do? Someone screeches behind me. I spun around to see Sharon glaring at me. Excuse me? Autumn demands. Who do you think you're speaking to? Stay out of this, Sharon snaps at her. What's wrong with you? I ask her. It seems as though everyone is angry with me today for unknown reasons. I paid plenty of money to kiss Dante today, she hissed. I know that you three had something to do with this. Someone made Dante switch places with Eric, and I want to know who was responsible for it. You paid to kiss Dante? Clarissa demands. How desperate do you have to be to pay someone for a chance to kiss my brother? Your brother? Sharon laughs. Isn't Damon also your brother? As far as I know, you're waiting for a chance to stick your tongue down Dante's throat as well. My eyes widen as her dress is suddenly up in flames. Sharon starts to scream when she realizes that her clothes are on fire. There was a pool near us, and she jumped straight into it. Autumn glares at Clarissa. What did you do? What? Clarissa asks innocently. You know that she deserved it. I know she deserves it, but I warned you that you must be more careful. We can't let the overlords find out about you, Clarissa. Do you forget what they almost did to me? I don't want them to come for you as well. Why were they so scared of the overlords? I knew nothing about them or why they were after Autumn and could be after Clarissa. However, I could tell how serious this entire thing was by Autumn's expression alone. I think it's time we get out of here, Damon says as he approaches us. Clarissa looks guilty as she stares at him. Did you just see that? He stares at her, and I can see that even he is a little upset. I did. It's time to go. Tonight was much more eventful than any of us were expecting. Clarissa hugs him, and that seems to calm Damon down a little. He picks her up into his arms without warning, and she buries her face against his neck. They loved each other and kept it a secret for so long, I whisper. I'm happy for them. I wish my sister could have been as well. Autumn holds my hand. There was a time that I considered Anya my closest friend. I wish things were different as well. We joined the others at the parking lot. Atticus immediately shouts for everyone to get into their vehicles. What's wrong? Autumn asked him as soon as we got inside. I knew it. He growls. I put a tracker on Dante's Jeep. I know where he's heading. Where? I demanded before I could stop myself. I couldn't hide the anxiousness in my voice. I was worried about him. His anger could cause him to do something stupid, and that's the last thing I wanted to see happen. He's going to that fighting ring again, Atticus growls. I don't care what he has to say. I'm stopping that shut tonight. Autumn looks over at me to see my reaction, and I know she can see the horror on my face from learning this new information. He would come home with bruises again if we didn't get there in time. I didn't want to be the reason for his bruises. I didn't want to cause him any harm. If I had known this would have happened, I would have never taken part in the kissing booth. If Dante had given me a chance to speak, he wouldn't have been so angry with me. I held on to the door as Atticus mashed down on the accelerator. We were speeding on the roads faster than I'd ever experienced. Damon and Clarissa were behind us and moving just as fast. They were all trying to stop Dante from harming himself. When we arrive at the underground ring, Atticus speaks to the receptionist and hands her some money so that she can let us in. When we entered the fighting arena, I could hear women screaming Dante's name. We were too late. I followed their gazes and felt my heart drop. Dante was on the ground with another man punching him repeatedly in his face. He wasn't even fighting back. Damon growls. Why is he just lying there and not fighting back? That asshole wants to lose the fight, Atticus shouts. He's intentionally losing. He wants the pain. I close my eyes to stop myself from seeing any more of it. I couldn't do this. I couldn't see Dante get beaten up right in front of me. We have to stop this, Clarissa hissed. He's going to kill him at this rate. There's too much security. Atticus points out as he examines the arena. It's too dangerous to get you girls involved. We should have left you home. I wasn't going to sit back and watch this. Before I knew what I was doing, I was already halfway down the pathway toward the ring. The security stopped me before I could go any further. I'm his wife, I shout. Let me go to him. The man chuckles. Almost every woman here pretends to be his wife daily. I don't believe you, chick. Dante, I scream. Dante! His eyes, which were once closed, immediately snapped open. My lips part when he searches the crowd until he finally finds me. The look he gives me startles me. Oh, I think I was in more trouble than before. Dante. I must be hallucinating. Willow wouldn't be here. There's no possible way that she's standing a few feet away from the ring while screaming my name. Yet it all felt so real. She looked real. All of this looked real. Maybe I'd been punched so much in my face that I was seeing things. But why, out of everyone, would I see her? I looked behind her, and to my horror, my siblings were also there. They were all there. Everyone except Griffin. It meant that I wasn't hallucinating. Willow was indeed here. That wasn't the only thing that made me panic. The fact that those guards had their hands on her made me furious. No one should ever put their hands on her unless they wanted them cut off. My eyes widen when I see her eyes roll back in her head. It didn't take me long to realize what was happening. She's going into shock. It's happening again. I knew what came right after. I knew what was going to happen. I had to get to her. She needed me. I grab my opponent by his wrist when he tries to hit me with another punch. I pulled him onto the ground and trapped him in an arm lock. I don't let go until the referee stops the fight. I didn't care that I'd just won the fight after planning to lose it. All I cared about was getting to Willow. I jump out of the ring before they can announce me as the winner. Get your hands off my wife! I growled at the security guard, who still held her without realizing something was happening to her. Just as I forcefully took her from him, she went completely still in my arms. Willow, I whisper. No response. Damn it. There are gasps all around me as I pick an unconscious Willow up into my arms and storm out of the arena with her. I could hear everyone asking for her name, but I ignored everything as the door closed behind me. We need to get her to a fire. I shouted to my siblings who were right behind me. Anything with heat would help. We weren't home, and that made it harder for all of us. She should have never been here to begin with. I ran into the parking lot and placed her in the front seat of the vehicle. I can start a fire, but it can't be here, Clarissa tells me. We can drive into the woods, Damon suggests. There's a track like a minute away. We don't have to go far in, just somewhere that's secluded. I nodded and quickly got into the vehicle. I mashed down on the accelerator and don't stop until inside the track Damon mentioned. When I was sure that we had a safe spot, I lifted Willow out of the Jeep and sat down with her still in my arms as Clarissa started a fire in front of us. She was cold against my warm skin. I've seen this happen to her in the past, but this is the first time that I felt something tug in my chest at the sight of her, unconscious in my arms. I was scared, terrified as I held her close against my chest. "Why is this taking so long?" I demand. "It's never taken this long before." "Maybe we took too long to get her in front of the fire," Autumn suggested with worry etched in her voice. "It's so unfair." Clarissa whispers, "Why does this keep happening to her?" I placed my hand against her cheek. It was still very cold. "Willow?" I whisper. There wasn't any response, not even tiny movements of her fingers or toes. Her lips were turning blue. I was beginning to panic. Was I the reason for this? Did it scare her to see me in the middle of a fight? I tightened my hold on her, hoping to give her more of my warmth. Clarissa held out her hand in front of her. "What are you doing?" I demand. "I'm trying to create heat. I'm trying to warm her up," she explains. We all wait patiently, hoping that this will at least work. Clarissa gasps suddenly, and we're all shocked to see a cut forming in the palm of her hand. I watched with confusion as her blood dripped onto the grass. Damon rushed over to her and held her hand in his as he examined it. "How the hell did this happen?" "I don't know," she whispers. "I tried to focus my power on Willow, but this happened instead. I couldn't help her, and I now have this wound in my hand." Autumn and Clarissa stared at each other as they tried to figure out what was happening. What did this mean? "Do you think this disease isn't natural?" I asked them. "Is it possible that she's under some kind of spell? Was that why no doctors were able to see anything wrong with her? Could that be the reason?" "We can't say for sure," Autumn answers me. "It is weird that Clarissa couldn't help her. We have to do more digging into this." "I just warmed this cloth," Clarissa tells me. "Wipe her arms and face with it." I took it from her and gently rubbed it all over her arms before moving to her face. I could slowly see the color returning to her skin and lips the more I rubbed it on her body. I moved the warm cloth to her neck, hoping to see her open her eyes soon. "She's waking up!" Autumn exclaims. My hand stops moving as my gaze moves from her neck to her face. I sigh of relief when her eyes slowly open and blink at me. She looks surprised to see me. I held my breath when she gently rubbed her hand on my cheek, wiping away the blood from my earlier fight. I was so desperate to keep her safe that I forgot all about the fight. This just reminded me of something that made me pissed. I slowly let go of Willow and jumped to my feet. I grab Atticus by his shirt without warning. "Why the f*** did you bring Willow to the fight?" Willow. Everyone is shocked to see Dante's anger towards his brother. One minute he was this gentle person taking care of me, and the next he was this raging beast ready to take on his brothers. I didn't understand why he was this angry. So what if they brought me along with them? Why should that make him this angry? "Why are you blaming Atticus?" Damon growls. "It's your recklessness that caused all of this in the first place. Please calm down, Dante." Clarissa tries to lighten the mood. "I know this entire experience was stressful, but there's no need to blame anyone. We can all be adults about this. The main thing is that Willow is now safe from any harm." "None of you were supposed to be there," he growls. "It's the one place I go to release my anger. Yet all of you followed me there and messed everything up. I was supposed to lose that fight." "What the hell were we supposed to do?" Atticus demands. "Watch you get beat up? And what the is wrong with you? Why did you lie there and let that man kick your ass? Why are you constantly happy to get your ass beaten up?" Damon growls. "If you want to get your ass beaten up so much, you could ask the two of us. We would happily knock some sense into you." I knew they were only angry because they cared about their brother. It was their love for him that made them react this way. I wish that Dante could understand them. "Guys," Autumn says as she steps between Atticus and Dante, "please remember that Willow has still not fully recovered. I think it's best we leave this for another time. Dante should take her home so that she could get some rest and heal the right way." I'd almost forgotten about fainting. Dante looks over at me the second she mentions my name. I watch nervously as he approaches me. "Does anywhere hurt?" he asks gently. The genuine concern in his voice takes me by surprise. He was angry with me earlier. Why was he acting so differently suddenly? Did he forget all about the kissing booth already? I'm okay. I was okay, physically at least. Emotionally, I was a wreck, and he was the reason for it. Seeing him at the fighting ring with blood all over his body made me realize something I didn't know before. My feelings for him weren't just some simple crush. It's much, much stronger than that, to the point that it would hurt me ever to see him in pain. I wasn't sure what that meant. All I knew was that it was no longer just a crush. A part of me would do everything in its power to protect him. While Dante always protected me because of his promise to my sister, with me, it was different. I wanted to protect him because I personally couldn't be happy if anything ever happened to him. He walks me to his Jeep and helps me get in. I held my breath when he leaned into me to fasten my seatbelt. The scent of his blood, mixed with his sweat, hit my nose, and I was surprised that even that was something I enjoyed. I didn't understand my own body at times. When he enters the driver's side and pulls out of the track, I can't help myself as I blurt out, I didn't know someone else would have been in the room. He had to know the truth. I didn't want there to be any misunderstandings between us. He didn't give me a chance to explain before, and this may be the best time to tell him everything. His hand tightens on the steering wheel. It's okay. I think I overreacted a bit. Let's forget that happened, okay? Forget it happened? Just like that? Was this the same person from before? I was not okay with just forgetting it. I had to give my side of the story before he continued to think the worst of me. It's not okay for me, I whisper as I play with my fingers on my lap. I truly wasn't planning on taking part in the kissing booth. I planned on doing just like you asked and staying as far away from it as possible. However, Autumn and Clarissa told me that they had a plan. They said that if I participated, I wouldn't have to kiss a stranger. I know you think I went into that room thinking I would kiss some stranger, but you're mistaken. I didn't go into the room hoping to see someone else. I went into the room hoping to see you. I wasn't surprised when I saw you, Dante. I was actually relieved that it was you. I watch the movement in Dante's throat as he swallows hard. He doesn't say anything. I'm not sure what he's thinking. I hoped this confession would make him happier. However, I was disappointed when I didn't get much of a reaction. Did telling him this change anything? Did he still think that I was wrong for taking part in the kissing booth? There were so many questions in my head, and I didn't know if I should ask them or not. I owe you an apology, Willow. He finally breaks the silence. My lips part. Did he really just say that? It's okay, I assure him. You thought I'd lied to you. His jaw clenches. Is there anything that you may have possibly neglected to tell us? I frown. Why are you asking that out of nowhere? He looks directly ahead. Clarissa tried to warm you with her power earlier, but she couldn't. Instead, she was harmed trying to help you. Harmed? I gasp. Harmed in what way? There was a cut in the middle of her palm. It appeared out of nowhere. We haven't confirmed if it was because of you or something else, he explains. What did this mean? How was that even possible? Willow. Do you think your mother placed a protection spell on you? He asks me. She's a witch, which makes you one. Do you have any idea what it might be? I bit my lip hard. It was true that my mother was a witch, and so was my sister. However, according to my mother, I've never shown any signs of being a witch. She's always thought that there was something wrong with me. I've never been able to do anything a witch could. I don't know spells, and even if I did, I wouldn't be able to create magic. It's hard to say, I answer him. It's possible. My mother has always been very protective of me. He nods and opens his wallet to check for something. I'm about to ask him what he's looking for when something catches my eye. Why does he have a picture of Anya inside of his wallet? I knew he loved her, but he was married to me. I felt some strange emotion in my chest that I immediately recognized. It appears that I might be jealous of my own sister. That was impossible. I loved Anya with all my heart and wished she was still with us. So then, why do I feel this way? Dante catches me staring at it, and he quickly shuts his wallet, almost like he doesn't want me to see it. Was it possible that he felt guilty? Why would he? He's never felt guilty in the past because of his feelings for her. He's never tried to hide it either. He was always very open about how much he loved her. We're silent for the rest of the drive home. There was nothing left for either one of us to say. I had to accept that Dante would never look at me differently. I will always be the sister of the woman he was in love with. He will never see me as his wife. It felt like I was giving up without even putting up a fight. However, how could you win a fight that you'd already lost? I couldn't compete with someone that was no longer here. Why did you let that man hurt you when you could have won that fight? I finally asked him, breaking the silence. We had just pulled into the garage, and Dante was waiting for me to step out of the vehicle. His hand stops at the door. Why do you think I could have won that fight? I knocked out before I could see what happened in the end, and still wasn't sure who'd won the fight. After fainting, I wasn't aware of anything. How could I be? I know you, I whisper. He frowned. You know me? I nod shyly. I didn't need to see you in a fight to know how strong you are. I'm positive that you were letting that man win. What I don't understand is why you would willingly do something like that unless you wanted to feel pain. It brings me back to what his brothers said when they saw him lying on the ground. Was that truly what he wanted? To feel pain? He doesn't answer me. My hands tightened into fists when he opened the door. Did I do something wrong? I demand. There must be a reason why you hate me this much. You hate me to the point that you would rather get beaten up after kissing me. I don't think I've ever done anything to disrespect you. I don't understand what I've done wrong, so please help me to understand. He ran a hand down his face, and I could see how impatient he was becoming. Even speaking to me was painful for him. Would he be happier if I kept my mouth shut from now on? Would that make him more comfortable around me? He gets down from the Jeep without answering me. Dante, I try again. I wanted an answer. I needed a solution. Just leave it alone, Willow, he says in a low growl. As your wife, don't you think I at least deserve some answers? I demand. His eyes flash dangerously at my question. Dante didn't like when I referred to myself as his wife. What would he prefer I call myself? He slams his door shut and walks over to my side. When he opens the door, I'm reminded of how sexy Dante is, even when he fumes with rage. This discussion was not going in the direction I had hoped. Do you want to know the truth? He demands. I wouldn't have asked if I didn't, I retort. He buries his hand in my hair and pulls my face closer to his. Remember that you're the one that insisted on hearing this. I pressed my lips tightly together as I waited for him to continue. You've indeed done nothing wrong, Willow, he whispers. You're not to blame for how messed up my life is. You're just an innocent girl that got caught up in the games of your mother and sister. You're not the reason that despite everything Anya did to me and my family, I still love her. You're not the reason I still can't get her out of my head. You're not the reason that I wish things were different. I still wish that she was here. I still wish that she cared for me more than she did Atticus. It's not your fault that she never even cared for me to begin with. His voice broke with that last line, and so did my heart. It's not your fault that you look nothing like her. It's not your fault that I keep searching for pieces of her in you. It's not your fault, Willow. Please stop. My heart was begging for him to stop. It couldn't handle it. I knew I was the one that asked for this, but I didn't expect it to hurt this much. Why was it this painful? You're not the reason that I still dream of her every night. He chokes. It's not your fault that Anya begged me to marry you. None of this was ever your fault. You did nothing wrong, and that's the problem. I gasp. Was he upset because I did nothing wrong? How could that be any reason to be upset with me? Because you did nothing wrong, I can't find a single flaw in you. I can't find a reason to say this marriage cannot work. Because you're so damn perfect, I don't have an excuse to leave this marriage. I'm stuck in it because of Anya and how perfect you are. Please stop. They are words from my mouth. I hadn't even realized I'd said them out loud until I saw the expression on his face. I don't want to hear anything more. I cry, so please stop, I beg of you. Willow. My hands are over my ear. I couldn't listen to any more of this. I was right. He did hate me. How could someone being perfect be a problem? And I was far from perfect. Why did he even think that I was perfect? What did I ever do to make him think that way about me? You're nothing like Anya, and maybe that's the problem, Willow. He whispers more to himself than me. It was the first time I regretted asking him a question. I wasn't prepared for a response such as this one. I was not ready for the uncomfortable sensation in my heart. I asked you to stop. I snap. He tries to take my hand, and I pull away from him. Let me help you out of the Jeep, he offers. I narrow my eyes. I don't need your help, Dante. Let me help you, Willow, he growls. I'm tired of you doing things for me because my sister asked you to do it. I hiss. If you're only going to help me because of her, don't. I can take care of myself. I may look helpless, but I can assure you that I am not. So please, move aside so that I can pass. His eyes are dark as he watches me for a few more seconds. The muscle in his jaw ticks, but he finally does as I ask. I fought back the tears as I walked away from him. Why was I stuck in this loveless marriage? Why couldn't Dante at least try to open his heart to me? This marriage had already joined us. Why couldn't we work together to make it work? I couldn't believe that he still had a picture of my sister in his wallet. I was grateful he loved her so much, but we were married now. Wasn't that disrespectful towards me? If word got out that he still had a picture of my sister in his wallet, the rumors about our marriage would spread even more. Why did he agree to marry me if he knew the only person he could ever love was Anya? He should have found a way to stop the wedding instead of ruining our lives. A part of me wanted to stay married to him. It was a big part of me. But the part of me that was hurting right now felt like it would be better if we stayed apart. Willow. Autumn shouts my name before I can run up the stairs. I turn to look at her, and she immediately realizes that something is wrong. Are you okay? She demands. Do you still feel unwell? I bit my lip and tried not to cry. I don't feel good at all, emotionally. My heart hurts. Her eyes widen. Is it Anya? Do you miss your sister? I shook my head. I did miss her, but to my horror, this pain in my chest was for a completely different reason. Then what's wrong? She demands. Dante said some words that hurt me, I confess. She looks shocked and slowly guides me into the family room. When she has me seated, she gives me her full attention. What did he say? I asked him if I did anything wrong for him to react so badly every time he got a little closer to me. After spending time with me, he always goes to that fighting ring and gets beaten up. I know that our marriage is doing this to him. Don't say that, Autumn whispers. Dante is this way because he's grieving. I'm sure you're not the reason for any of this. He dislikes me because of how perfect I am. I disagree. That's what he told me. He said that because I'm not flawed, he cannot find a single reason to end our marriage. He's upset because he's trapped in our marriage, and there is nothing he can do about it. Autumn looks appalled by this new information. Dante said this to you, she asks. I can see the disbelief in her eyes. I nod. She squeezes my hand. I don't think he meant it, Willow. I think he's just frustrated with himself. I think he's just trying to push you away because he's scared that he might be developing feelings for you. I wish that were the case, but I knew that the only person Dante had feelings for was Anya. I think that you should know what happened after you fainted, she says suddenly. I know you think that Dante doesn't care for you. I know you believe that he only protects you because of Anya. However, what I saw today proved that he doesn't just care for you because of your sister. I don't understand what you're saying, I admit. Why do you think otherwise? When Dante saw you faint, he lost all control. We don't know why he wanted to lose the match to begin with, but the second he saw you lose consciousness, none of that mattered to him. He was able to win that match within seconds, just so that he could get to you. But that could mean he was trying to protect me because of Anya. That's what he promised her, to protect me. That was all he was doing. Everything he does is because she asked him to do it. I try to show her. I can see why you would think that way, but if it were because of Anya, he wouldn't have told the security to let go of his wife. She informs me. My lips part in surprise. She must have misheard him. Did he say that? I ask. Are you sure that's what he said? She nods. I wouldn't tell you if I wasn't positive that's what he said to the security. I believe that even Dante doesn't realize what he truly feels. I do believe that he loved Anya, but I also believe that he has feelings for you that have nothing to do with your sister. Autumn's words have managed to give me some hope. Maybe there was a chance to save my marriage. Dante, I was a asshole. Anya asked me to protect her sister, not say words to hurt her. I was in such a mess. I had no idea how to deal with the strong emotions stuck in my chest. When Willow asked me why I acted the way I did, I was thrown off guard. The truth was that even I didn't have the answers to give to her. I knew I was lying to myself about many things, but even I wasn't sure what those were. My mind was in shambles. I felt horrible for speaking that way to her. Not once but twice for the day. She kept catching me off guard, and my reaction to her behavior was to lash out at her. It was not a good one, and I did not know how to stop. I've never been this big of an asshole, but lately I can't seem to stop. I keep picking fights with my family and Willow. I had to find a way to have more control over my actions and words. If you're only going to help me because of her, don't. Those were her words, and it was stuck in my head, adding to the torture. It was true. For everything that I did for Willow, my excuse was always that I'd done it because it was what Anya would have wanted me to do. It wasn't an excuse. It was the truth. I only married her because Anya asked me to do it. The fact was that I could never give my heart to someone other than Willow's sister. Whenever I kissed Willow, I felt like I was betraying her sister. Whenever I got closer to her, I felt like I had to take a few steps back. I wasn't doing any of this on purpose. My heart and mind were constantly in a battle with each other to do the right thing. They both had different ideas of what the right thing was. "You look like you need a drink," Damon says as he joins me in the kitchen. I needed more than a drink. In fact, I don't think drinking would help me even a little. Nothing could help me out of this mess. If given a chance, I'm sure that I would somehow find a way to make everything worse than it already was. "I'm not in the mood to be lectured right now, Damon," I warn him. I wanted to be alone. That way I could bury myself in my guilt. Besides, I was tired of my brothers trying to make decisions for me. None of them understood the pain I was going through. They had the woman they loved with them for the rest of their lives. They had no right to judge me. "I'm not here to give you a lecture," he assures me. "I'm here to have a drink. You can join me if you'd like. Of course, you can also say no. It's your decision. I won't force you to do anything you don't want to do." He goes to the fridge and gets 2 glasses from the cabinet. After pouring the liquor into the glasses, he hands one to me. I stare at it briefly before finally taking it from him. I don't waste a second as I gulp the entire thing in one go. It wasn't a magic drink. I still felt like shh. Damon doesn't say anything as he does the same. I watch as he refills my glass. "Are you trying to get me drunk?" I ask him suspiciously. He shrugs his shoulder. "I'm just trying to help you to loosen up a little bit. You've been too tensed lately." I took the glass from him and winced when the liquor went down my throat again. Every time I took a drink, Damon would refill the cup for me. I wasn't even sure if he was refilling his cup as well. "How is Willow doing?" he asks me. I sigh. She's angry with me. For the first time in our marriage, she's truly angry with me. "Why?" I glance at him. I was a complete asshole to her. That's why. He hands me the refilled glass once more. "I know that you still love Anya. None of us can truly understand why you still love her after she betrayed you and after she betrayed all of us. However, don't you think you should try to make your marriage work with Willow?" My jaw clenches. "Let me ask you something, Damon. If Clarissa died and you were forced to marry her sister, would you be able to give her sister a chance? Would you be able to make that marriage work after knowing she's the only person you could ever love?" It wasn't like Willow even wanted me either. She was forced into this marriage just like I was. Damon doesn't say anything. "Your silence tells me everything I need to know," I tell him. He sighs. "I was just trying to show you that you might be happier if you let go of the past. I never said it would be easy. However, Willow seems like a nice girl. Unlike Anya, she is kind and gentle. She's also innocent." "You don't need to remind me that she's nothing like her sister," I growl. "I think I've had enough of this conversation." I attempted to get up from the chair, but quickly held onto the counter for support. I'd had too much to drink, it would seem. "I'll help you," Dante says as he puts my arm around his neck. He walked with me up the stairs, ensuring I didn't fall flat on my face. I try to walk on my own when I see my room door. Take it easy, he tells me as he tries to steady me. I think you should get some sleep now. I couldn't sleep with Willow in the same room as me. Didn't he understand that? Sleep was difficult for me ever since she entered my life. It wasn't about to magically get easier tonight. Willow. He was drunk. Dante was drunk. I could quickly tell by the way he moved. His feet were wobbly as he exited the shower with nothing but his towel wrapped around his waist. To my surprise, instead of putting clothes on, he walks over to the bed. I'm speechless when he hovers over me. The water from his skin drips onto my nightgown, and I gasp from the contact. His hands are pressed against either side of me on the bed. I don't hate you. It was just 4 words, but those 4 words made my heart feel like it was running a marathon. It was pounding uncontrollably. I'm not perfect, I whisper. There are many reasons that you can find to end our marriage. I knew he was intoxicated and most likely wouldn't remember this conversation tomorrow, but I still wanted him to see that I was far from perfect. He smiles, a slight curve on his lips that makes my heart skip a grate. You're wrong. He disagrees. Your eyes are always wide and pure. Your smile is always innocent. Your walk is proper and almost seductive. Your hair is the perfect length. Your lips are shaped to perfection. Your voice is soothing and sweet. Your words are always kind. Every part of you is somehow made just the right way. You are perfect. You are. My lips part in utter shock. I knew he was drunk, but was that how he saw me? I would have never thought that Dante saw me this way. Then it occurred to me there was a possibility that he was thinking of Anya, just like he'd done in the past. Who am I? I ask him, waiting hesitantly for his response. What? He asks. Who do you see when you look at me? I try again. My heartbeat had increased once more as I waited for his reply. Willow, he answers me. I closed my eyes and felt the relief wash over me. Repeat it, I whisper. He leaned closer into me, and I could feel his wet skin closer to mine. Willow, again. His mouth is close to my ear, Willow. I breathe him in. Why did this make me happy? Why did my body want to shout for joy because he was saying my name and not my sister's? I wish you would only say my name from now on, I confess. As long as he couldn't remember any of this, it was safe for me to say exactly what I wanted to. He stays silent. I open my eyes to find him staring at me with a confused look. It was only now that I realized how close we were to each other. Dante was most likely naked beneath that towel. His skin was still glistening from the water droplets. A part of me wanted to lean forward and kiss each of them. I felt myself blush at the thought of doing that. I couldn't help myself as I placed my hand on his chest, right above his heart. Dante flinched at the contact, making me wonder if he didn't like it when I touched him. Why do you hurt yourself every time you kiss me? I whisper. Is kissing me that unpleasant? His gaze drops to my lips, and even in his intoxicated state, his eyes darken. No, that's all he says. Just no. Then why? I stop breathing when he touches my bottom lip with his finger. It's quite the opposite. He pauses before adding, That's why I hurt myself. Because it's not unpleasant? I ask. He nods. I don't understand. It's not for you to understand. He stops me. Kissing you is wrong. Kissing your wife is wrong? I ask in disbelief. He looks like he's in pain. I don't think you understand what it means to love someone and not have that person love you back. I don't think you know the feeling of heartbreak when you find out that the person you loved the most was only using you to fulfill her promise to her mother. I don't think you realize how painful it is when someone tells you that you were never important to them. Dante, and then have her ask you to marry her sister, her perfect, flawless sister, he adds. To add to it all, instead of turning her down, you say yes, you grant her dying wish because even though she didn't love you, it didn't matter because you loved her. My heart ached. It ached for Dante. What my sister did to him was horrible. She was still my sister, and I still loved her, but a part of me felt resentment for all the wrong things she did to him. I felt a tear slowly roll down my cheek. I was crying without even realizing it. I was crying for him and his broken heart. I was crying because my sister was lucky enough to have his love, but I will never get to experience it. I will never know what it's like to be loved by Dante Fawn. For the rest of my life, I'll have to live with the fact that he loved her and only her. Dante wipes my cheek with his thumb. He looks fascinated and drawn to it. "Do you cry because of me?" he asks. "Do you feel sorry for me?" I didn't want to answer him. I didn't want him to think that I pitied him. As I stare up at him, it dawns on me that I am definitely jealous of my sister. I was jealous that she met him first. I was jealous that he fell in love with her. I was jealous that he wanted her and not me. I was jealous that she would always be the one to know what it was like to be loved by him while I will never know. I felt sick to my stomach, knowing that I felt this way. How? How could I feel this way about my sister, who was no longer around? What was wrong with me?